There we go.
Hello. This is our reality podcast. I'm Roxy Hopman here with the Nick City. The Zach Perez. Were you the last week too?
I think so.
Have you always been the? Y'all are both the. The Nick
Yes.
City, the Zach Perez, and Casey232. Casey's getting a new pink microphone. We're very excited about it. All of us.
Yes.
So welcome, you guys. Sorry it took us so long. We had a little bit of some technical problems. It happens, but hopefully all of that is straightened out. So if this is your first time with us, my apologies. If this is not your first time with us, I'm concerned about why you've come back, but I'm glad that you're here. You are my people. So before we get started, Jameson in chat's already calling this out 51 minutes later. I know, Jameson. I just said the same thing. I was like, we're only 50 minutes late. So if you have not hit like, subscribe, all of those things, please go and do that because it helps us out super a bunch. And, if you want to leave a comment, that also helps us with the algorithms and stuff. And I never, ever remember to say it or want to say any of those things but I'm saying it today. So y'all better do it. Don't make me get my mom voice
Share
out.
us on Twitter. I know you can do that. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good one. Yes. And also that. Hi, Jaden. Jaden, have you been here before? I don't recognize your name. First timer? Okay. Anyway, so come here often. All right. So it has not been as long of a break since we were here last time, but boy, do we have a million things to talk about. So when we left off, we knew that Josh was HOH and Josh had won the veto, but the feeds were already down for the remainder of the season. So we had no idea what was going to happen. And I know it drove Casey crazy because she's over there wikiing and Googling on the goggle and everything else and everything. She's like, who can I read about? Anything. She was having withdrawals. We almost had to send her to rehab. But she's okay. She made it through. We all made it through. But that's where we left off. We just did some speculating. We were not correct. But we're not going to talk about that, are we? No, we're not. So let's talk about what happened with the veto. Because we thought we all collectively were already pre-mourning the loss of Kevin and thought there's no way he's just going to be gone at 4. We were wrong because that's not what happened.
I still believed in him.
I did too. I think I said it on the last stream. I was like, yeah, but before feeds cut or whatever, like they were sort of leaning towards Helena because of the comps. And I think my biggest concern was like, okay, well, Josh is saying that, but is Betty going to feel the same way? Is he even going to save Betty? Like, what the hell is Josh going to do? Because he hasn't been loyal to any of those people in the game.
No, everybody talks about everybody's always like, Kevin had such a dirty, rat game. And I'm like,
not compared to Josh.
But so did Josh. And that's who you're mad about. That. It's okay to have a rat game, but just admit that they both did. Don't act like one person. It's not either or. You can both be. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's get that.
Yeah.
But Kevin was just better at it.
Own it.
Exactly.
Kevin owned it along the way. He had his conversation, so he needed to, and Josh did the opposite. He blew smoke up all of their asses.
He
was like,
he sent people out mad at him for the betrayal. Kevin embraced it from the very beginning, and he relished the fact that he was going to get to do this role. That he was like, I'm going to get to be the villain. I'm fixing to smash it. I'm going to own it. This is what I'm going to do. And he did. And so yeah, so when we left, Kevin and Betty were on the block, and we didn't know really. There was a lot of speculation. And listen, I've been a big Kevin fan from day one, even back when people are like, Kevin. And I was like, yes, Kevin. Y'all
You
didn't
were. You were a Kevin
Yeah.
warrior from like the first episode of this podcast. I'm
I
pretty
said, this
sure.
guy, watch it. This guy's going places. He knows what he's doing. And anyway, and look what happened, because Josh did in fact use the veto, and he pulled Betty off of the block and said, Papa Squat Helena. He did not say that. I like to think that he did, but he did not. And
the
that
first
left,
time in like 60 days, Helena got put up on the block. Whatever day number it was. But she said it too as she went
a
up.
million. Day a million. And
it was day 64.
I mean,
to be exact.
Yeah. Well, same. 64, a million. I never claimed to be a mathematician. Okay. In fact, I'm not good at it at all. Yes, Victor. CBS might not call me, but Global did and got Kevin in. That's exactly what happened. Kevin owes all of this fame and glory to me. Kevin, pay me my dues.
Oh, I love Kevin.
Me too.
I know that like before the season he did like interviews and stuff, and he was like, if I make it to the final 2, like, you're not going to be able to beat me. I'm going to be a villain. I'm going to take out all of Canada's favorites.
And boy, did he deliver, and he delivered it.
To the very last second. Until the very last second. Like, even still, he's delivering. He's delivering still, actually. In my opinion.
I know.
I'm obsessed.
When he, when that vote was cast for Helena to, Helena went home. When that, I'm sorry if I spoiled that for you, Casey.
How dare you?
No, you
didn't find that on the wiki, on the Google.
I was shook. But this is like my actual reaction. I was like, thank God. Josh just has to be Kevin or Betty. Woo! My literal thoughts.
I know. Zach texted me and was like, have you watched? And I was like, eek! Yes!
I messaged Nick and I was like, I'm sorry, your girl just went like.
Casey did message me like right away. I was so upset because I was like so sad. I was like, Kevin's done. I was like, Helena might have a fair shot at winning now. Like this, that. No, bitch. Helena was out the door, and I was like, my jaw was on the floor, honestly.
Kevin campaign right there to Josh, like bringing out the tears, like I mean,
genius, crying on command. What a skill! Although he may have gone to the Joey Tribbiani School of Acting and like pulled the leg hair or something, but however he did it, it worked.
And he could have truly felt that way. He can control his emotions, and I think he said this, but he can. I mean, I'm sure that he can make himself feel that way because at that time, like, I'll do everything for 100K in the title,
Yeah, I don't even care about the money. I mean, unless you want to give me some of it, Kevin. But because I am responsible. The title is everything to me, and I don't care what game I'm playing. If we're playing, Candy,
fucking Monopoly. Exactly. I'm gonna be the banker, basically.
Casey, I made my child cry playing Monopoly, and she's 13 now, so she was probably like 9 or 10. I made her cry. Gunnar and I were arguing over. We were trying to buy a piece of property from her, and we were in a bidding war, and she did not know who to be loyal to, her brother, who is also her best friend, or her mother. And she started crying. And guess what? I didn't even care. I was like, so you got to sell it to me or what? Come on, kid. I'm ruthless, and I don't care. I did have to take a step back and think, what am I doing? She's already going to need therapy. And here I am, like, making her sell me Park Place. The worst, I swear. Did you see what happened on our finale? No, I haven't seen it yet because I was just
We're
telling
gonna
them.
talk about it at the end, I think, because we
Oh,
That's
is
what me
that
and
what you
Casey
were
were
talking
talking.
about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I haven't seen whatever it is, and I told them, don't tell me. Don't tell me. I want to have an authentic, natural reaction to it because I try really hard to not look at anything. I will like briefly look here or look there, especially if I'm out traveling. But I try not to look at too much on social media or on other podcasts until after I've already talked about it because I want to have my own authentic, real opinions before I let anything else influence me, whether intentional or inadvertent. And so I haven't seen it yet. Don't tell me. Blah, 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 blah. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. Okay. No, I am not. Natalie, the lies you are telling in the chat. Natalie said that I was glad. Well, we're not there yet, but you're wrong, Natalie.
Natalie.
And when we get there, I'm calling you out again. So get ready. Get ready. No, so back to Helena goes home and we were all like
she didn't really fight. She gave it up to Kevin.
I feel like she did.
I feel like she did.
I
feel like
that.
she knew that it was her time. That as soon as she hit that block, she was fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
And she almost won that veto. She competed better than Kevin did. And I think she truly walked out of there thinking that she's played the best game of the season. I don't know.
Yeah,
she played a really good game. She played a really good game.
She did.
I think she aligned with the right people.
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
To not go on the block for 64 days when the veto's used literally every single week except the 2 weeks when you win the veto is impressive.
I agree.
And I mean, you know, people.
She controlled some narrative.
Right. And I see a lot of people on Twitter being like, she sucks socially and she wouldn't have won a jury vote. And it's like, okay, fine. But clearly she was doing something correct if she was not nominated for 64 days with the veto being used. I honestly don't know for a fact, but I feel like the record
every time
was broken.
I think
it was every time except the 2 times when Helena won the veto.
I think if she sat next to Josh, she would have won too.
I believe that.
I do think that.
I do think.
Yeah,
so
I do think that too because there are aspects of Josh's game that were good. I'm not going to negate that. I won't take that away from him. He did have great alliances. He was a comp winner. However, he didn't have the finesse or the management that he needed to have. Everyone that he betrayed, they were still angry with him because you can't send somebody out. Like, these people are deciding your fate, and he did not take that into consideration. So in that aspect, you know, whatever. But yeah, I think honestly, I think a lot of people played pretty decent. It was a good season of Big Brother, I feel.
Yeah. But, top tier.
Yeah. I agree with that. I really do.
It was probably the best, like definitely the best season I've seen live because I haven't watched that many live. But I think this is the best season of Big Brother I've ever watched. In any
ever. That's a bold statement. I'm not going to take it that far.
I'm going to say it just because of how Kevin controlled it. Like, it was dominant, but like in the most weird way. Like a gummy bear, you know what I mean? Like Josh, like if Josh wasn't there, like it's different. You know what I mean? Like the things that I did not expect to happen happened. Like Helena going, and then everything that happened afterwards.
Have you seen Big Brother 10 in the US?
I have seen Big Brother 10, and although I feel like there is a lot of good manipulation there, I don't feel like people were already kind of going after each other. Keisha's birthday, right? But in this season, it was like turn.
You better not.
It was literally one person going and like manipulating the whole thing. And Dan won a lot. Dan won a lot of competitions.
Yeah, Kevin didn't win a lot of competitions, but he still had control over the house, kind of like Derek Levasseur. Yeah, I remember.
I mean, Derek threw everything. Probably even the final HOH, if we're being honest.
Well,
he didn't need
worked
to win
out for him.
anything.
He didn't.
Nope, when you're that good, neither did Will. When you're that good, you don't have to. Dan threw a lot of things
Neither did
too,
Kevin.
Oh, exactly. This is my point. And these are top tier players. All of
I'm putting
them.
Kevin above Dan and Derek. I'm sorry. Like, his mind is
Above
just that.
Dan?
No, because for you to control one person, like, Dan definitely did it to Danielle or whatever her name was, but he didn't win the game. Kevin literally controlled Josh the entire time. He would, like, even if he lost it, he picked it back up. I can't say the same with, like, Dan and, like, Frank, for example. And Frank, like, like, that season, like Brittany even. Like, Dan wasn't able
Frank
to work
wasn't his person. Frank wasn't his person.
Well, it
He
was
belonged to
Danielle
Mike
and, like,
Boogie.
Shane.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
He had complete control over them, and he had control over Brittany, and he had control over the entire house. Honestly,
he was always able to, like, flip them. Kevin was, like, even if, like, Frank had, like let's say Frank had won HOH. Dan did keep himself off the block by, like, what, swearing on the Bible or something.
By any means necessary, yes.
But Kevin did it like. But Kevin did it in a way that, like, made sense to that person. I don't know. I love Dan,
yeah,
but
that's the way that Derek played.
After his
the way
floundering,
that Will played.
Well, I'm not saying that they played. I'm just saying that Kevin, like.
It's because this is the first time. All of the other players that you've mentioned, you didn't watch them live, and that's the difference. I'm not faulting you for that, but that is the difference. Is you get so invested in watching the minutia of what is happening that's really not always shown on the actual show, and so then you get so invested in it. So I'm not faulting you for that at all, because I do think Kevin has all of the things that you've said.
Yeah.
I don't think, except for I don't think that he is better than Dan Giesling. But I think he's close.
I do.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you didn't
Kevin
watch
won in a
Dan.
jury vote.
I mean,
huh? So did Dan.
But also, like,
bring Kevin back and see if he can do it again.
We all knew that
Dan's the only one to make it to Final Two twice.
We all knew that Dan and Derek were going to win, but Kevin,
so did Paul.
We were worried about.
No, I knew. Yeah, Paul did too, and even though I don't like him a whole lot, he did make it to Final Two twice and lost twice, wearing the same outfit like a douche.
Oh,
but
and
anyway.
Cody.
Oh yeah, Cody did too.
Okay, yes, and Cody was carried there by Derek both times, and ironically, Derek wasn't even in the game the second time. So that was weird how that happened. But anyway, I'm just saying, Dan is better. Period.
Okay, well, I'm gonna die on Kevin's hill. You can go die on Dan's hill. And his second
I would like to put them both on the same hill and die there.
I would die for Kevin. Like, I love Kevin.
Wow.
And I really love Big Brother.
Okay, so I'm not quite that much. I'm not going to do that.
I would.
Okay.
He's like the best strategist in the series.
Y'all are wrong. Nicole is the best
strategist. Shut the fuck up.
Shut up. Shut your face right now.
No.
That is the wrongest. And just like that, Zach was fired. I'm just kidding.
Roxy, you know you love Nicole.
I did like her the first season. I did.
I did too. I feel like everyone did.
Well, yeah. I think so.
I mean, there wasn't many other people to root for that season.
Oh my God. There were so many. I'll tell you who I was not a fan of that season.
Frankie?
Yes. I liked Frankie like the first week. And then I was like, you're going to have to tone it down, sir. And he did not. He did not. He toned it up. And I'm like, I cannot. What? Because he was on a show at all times, and I do realize that when I am on here with you guys, I am very like that. But in actual real life, I am much calmer and more sedate And yes, Zach.
What Natalie just said. He better not be.
Derek F is rumored to be
Oh,
on Challenge 38.
He is rumored.
Oh my god.
I mean, okay. Listen, Zach. We
He'll
don't
just
have
be
to
first
watch
boot. It's
it
okay.
for like
He's
the
been
first week.
training.
Exactly, Nick. Exactly. Like after week
Hmm.
1, we're good to watch it. So.
Yeah.
Brittany is rumored too. I was like, did they just like pull names out of a hat? And we're like, you and you.
Wait, which Brittany?
Brittany from last season.
Okay, well, I mean, there's all. You say that as if there is only
I
one
know.
Brittany. There's a
What is
lot
it,
of
like,
them.
There's like,
You mean Brittany?
there's like 3. Yeah, Brittany. I forgot we called her that last year.
Brittany is rumored to be on.
So we know who the first boots are for next season. Though.
Yeah.
Hey, if there's a dance off, Brittany could make it further. You don't know, or a rap battle. She'll never be bigger than Eminem, though. Look at that.
A TikTok dance.
I have been Eminem's biggest fan, his stan, if you will,
Not this.
since day one of his. No, not really day one of his career because I didn't know him, but since the very, very beginning.
Is that
That's
song
right.
written about you?
No, I didn't murder my girlfriend and put her in the trunk. Sorry. I didn't. I was already married to my husband with a child at the time, but I think Eminem's a genius and I love him. So Roxy still hasn't Oh, I'm sorry, Jameson. Jameson still hasn't rewatched 16. He's still rewatching 15. And he can confidently say that he will never watch that season again.
Oh my god.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I do. I understand.
It's not my top one to watch.
Well, no, Big Brother Canada 10 is. we went over that. No, but I mean, there is some good strategy and there is some good gameplay. There's just a whole lot of racism and bigotry and misogynistic behavior that makes me want to vomit. But the few, and I do mean few, bright points of that season, I do like because there are people I like. There are people that I like. I like Helen. I like Howard. I like McCrae,
Alyssa.
obviously. Huh?
I like
Yeah.
Candace.
Yeah, Candace.
Oh,
And
Candace.
Judd the Stud. Like there's like
I liked Amanda.
no, I like Spencer. I do. I think Spencer's smart, and I do like him. I do.
Because he's from your neck of the woods. That's why.
It's really not. Why? Because listen, need I remind you of Raven?
Oh
So,
god.
see, I'm not
Yeah,
biased.
We're not associated with her.
I am not biased according to proximity to me, but I don't have a dislike for Spencer at all.
I thought he was funny during it. He was comedical.
He said and did some very smart things even before the game started. Even how he got cast was brilliant. He played the game before he ever walked in the house, and that was brilliant.
It's really surprising to me how we have, from the same state, we have Spencer, Brittany, Haynes, and Kathy, and then there's Raven.
The sheriff.
What a wide range, honestly.
Kathy's still stuck in that caramel somewhere. I don't know.
I think
Reagan
Bailey,
said goodbye, turkey sandwich.
I think Bailey is the only
funny.
one from Missouri.
I have a lot of people from New York, so.
So many. You're
Like
either
Nick
from New
from
York or
Oh my god,
yes.
please.
Tommy.
Gina Marie's
You-
obsession.
Yes.
You might be an Aggie or from New York if you're on Big Brother, or found in a bar in LA.
Or Texas
Mhm.
A&M.
Texas
Yeah,
A&M.
Yeah, an Aggie. My cousin played for the Aggies actually, but I ain't no Aggie. Anywho,
Yeah,
yes,
Helena
I
got
know.
evicted.
Yeah, Helena got evicted. Y'all want to talk about this season or no? Okay. What do y'all think? Should we? Listen, chat gets Chat gets me off track all the time. I'm blaming it on chat. It's not really. It's the ADD, but whatever. No, chat keeps saying stuff where I'm like, oh really? Oh really? Oh really?
I do want to talk
Y'all.
about the veto of the Final Four veto. I was so mad at that comp just because I feel unless there was some type of rule or something where they couldn't like, where they get to the questions or whatever, or whenever they stand up where they can just try to track where they're going before they go down. Because it seemed like they were just, all right, go to the next one. And then it just, or like Kevin, like just wandering around and not having a specific place of where to go.
That was Betty, baby.
Or yeah,
right?
Betty, sorry.
But I think that they did tell them, like, hey, you need to look for a rope and you're going to go down and, like, you need to put these nameplates. I think that they have to have some, like, they can't just know to go to find nameplates, Like, I think they do some sort of prerequisite thing. But if they had, if they had their hand on their rope ready to do it, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Well,
I guess Betty was like 2 hours. No, wait, no, that's a different comp. Thinking of something else.
She's lost in like 45 minutes, I think. She was lost in the sauce. Poor gal.
But we skipped forward from Helena to what are we?
That was the final 5 veto that we talked about just now, right? Yeah, because JC Lynn played in it.
No, I'm talking about the where they had to get down and slide.
Oh, the rap.
Yes, and every time Betty looked like she was like a small child on the playground, because every time she would go down the slide, she would go, woo!
But that's a different comp. That's a different comp.
That's a different comp.
That was the part 2 HOH.
That was the HOH, yes. Listen.
It took me a minute to figure out, because I was talking about the rope, but yeah, Kevin was lost in the sauce on that one for sure.
And then Betty kept on hitting her head on corners and stuff.
Okay, next.
Part 1 HOH.
I don't know where we are, so someone tell me where we're going next.
Part 1 HOH.
Oh yes, purple metallic, yes.
Yeah, purple the metallic. River. Yeah. That was cool.
Felt like very Survivor vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I felt like there was a huge sale on metallic fabric during both part 1 and part 2 of HOH. And I don't understand. Like, honey, it was on sale, but that doesn't mean you had to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. It was not cute. It wasn't cute, and I didn't like it.
There's a lot of that type of costume fabric in the seasons.
Well, listen, they've got a surplus. They bought out a Hancock's fabric or something.
Like the season 3 Ants costume, it was like red fabric, metallic fabric. And
they like sparkly things.
They like it bright, and I like that too.
It just catches the light just right.
The River did. I was like, oh my god, that's purple.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I love the color purple. I did not love the strangely, like, the pattern that they used, especially for the guy costumes. At least Betty's looked a little bit cuter. But the boys, it was like they were wearing a big purple, like, shiny, satiny, metallic sack or something. I was like a freaking, like, big old bag of purple. I don't know. It's wasn't good. I didn't like it. And it's all I'm supposed to be concentrating on them walking and carrying these discs and doing whatever. And all I'm doing is going, my God, who sewed those outfits? That's what I was doing the whole time. And I'm like, oh, wait, watch the show, Roxy. Concentrate. But then I'd be like, I mean, at least Betty's is a little more form-fitting. Like, the whole time I couldn't. And Kevin's like, I'm going to sit down. I got to figure this out, which worked for him because he's like, something's not right about the way I'm doing this. And then I'm thinking, I hope those pants don't rip because that doesn't look like a very giving type of material. I don't think there's any elastic in it.
I was also very confused about what, like, the comp, like, I thought that I knew what they were supposed to do, and then, like, they started dropping discs, and I was like, oh, they can't use them again, and then they picked them back up and stuff, and then I saw some discs on the river. I was like, okay, wait, I guess if they fall into the river, they can't get them back. But if they fall on the ground, hard ground, then they can
You
get
have
them
that
back.
moment where you're like, should I rewind and rewatch the rules now, or should I go with it and try to figure this out? And why are they wearing these purple shiny clothes? Because I too, Zach was like, wait, what are they doing? I had that moment too.
I did too.
Usually it's just me and I'm the only one, and Barrett makes fun of me and says that I need like extra rules sent to me beforehand and things like that, which is not a bad idea. CBS Global, let me know. But if you could just send me a printout of the actual rules beforehand, that'd be great. Okay, call me with that. Fax it. I don't have a fax machine, but we'll figure it out. But it wasn't me, and I'm so happy because y'all were also confused.
Yeah, we needed the whole CBS DRs of this competition is about, or in this comp, I have to. We needed like more of that because I was kind of like, okay, I don't know what y'all
I'm like, we're
doing,
gonna
but it looks
start,
pretty cool.
yeah. And like those little pucks, like I don't know what they're made of, but it looked like they were made of foam.
My favorite.
Yes, but also, can I point out, spray painted to be metallic. I just want to point that out.
Yep.
They were metallic in color. Who is in charge? Somebody who misses disco. That's who. Who's in charge of costuming. They're like, I sure do miss that disco. We'll just make everything shiny. That's what we'll do.
I need a fail DR like Jessica. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to hang on to this wall, and then
boop. Yeah.
That 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where she screams before she falls.
Have you seen Celebrity Big Brother 2?
No.
Oh God, that's
where
the one you need to
Tamar is
watch.
hanging
Tamar.
on the. Oh my God, it's so fucking good.
There's also like the scary house. Like there's so many good moments in that.
Oh yeah,
like
the scary house too.
I watch Peridium's funny moments from every season on YouTube. It's like
was it her dancing? That was my favorite fucking part.
Yeah.
She danced on someone while they got evicted. Literally.
Literally, it was so good.
She did a little
talk
skate.
amongst yourselves for one moment. Just continue without me. My husband just got home. I need to tell him about dinner. Y'all talk about yourselves, not yourselves, about the show or whatever. Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I also want to talk about how at the beginning of the finale that the little rewind and review over the past 10 seasons, it was getting me pumped up. I was like, oh my gosh, okay,
they
kill
knew,
it.
Like they were like a legend, and I was like, the more they're saying this, it has to be Kevin. And like Betty's great. I love Betty, but like legend status, Kevin had already checked all those boxes for me anyways. And I thought he was gonna get robbed at the end. Like it was just but yeah, I am just obsessed with this season.
It also spoiled me for like all the winners of every single season, and I'm like, ugh.
But that's right, because you just started like recently, right?
Yeah, I've seen 1, 2, and 3, and then I already know what happens in 5 because like I watch Peridium's YouTube, and he talked about Kevin already and how he won out. So it is what it is. And then
5 is still good, even if you're spoiled.
5 is still good, yeah, because like he barely did that, so.
Yeah, it was good. You'll like it.
He's nothing like Kevin Jacobs, I'll tell you that right now. And also, what was weird is that yesterday, the date was 5/5, like May 5th. 10, right? Big Brother 10.
Right.
So that's 10. And then also, like, first Kevin won season 5. I don't know. It was just weird. Like, I always think about
that. Is weird, actually.
Like, it was destiny. You know what I mean?
Manifested.
Well, it's not what I was manifesting, but it was destined for him to do that. And I'm gagged that he did it, honestly.
Same. It's weird that we have 2 Kevin winners now. You have to specify which Kevin we're talking about when we're discussing Big Brother Canada now.
Kevin Jacobs, KJ, like that's my initials, baby.
Oh,
like,
right.
I will always remember
KJ.
that. Yeah.
Oh look, Miss Roxy's back.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome back.
Thank you. I didn't realize that he was going to be home so soon. He works weird hours though. He's an engineer for Union Pacific Railroad. And so he's just on call 24/7. And I never know. People all the time are like, to my kids, they'll be like, "You have a dad? We've never seen him." And they're like, "Well, we don't see him often." They're like, "Oh, your parents divorced?" No. No, they're not. And plus he's also military, so he's been like on multiple deployments. Not anymore, he's retired, but from that. But he's missed so much, so kids are always like, "Oh, I didn't know you had a dad. Like, what do you think you like? How do you think I got these people? I didn't grow them. I did grow them myself, but not alone.
No.
Not alone." Anyway,
No,
so I didn't
Growing
know.
about his dad. He only talked about
Yeah,
you.
I'm an excellent human being grower. Excellent. It's my best job. I did not know he was going to come home, so my apologies. I had to tell him where dinner was.
It
I
is
mean,
okay.
We were
made a good
talking
dinner.
about the 10-year review at the beginning of the finale.
Yes. I still had this in, so I heard everything that you
Oh, you
said.
did?
Oh.
Mhm.
The beginning of that, like that intro was like at least 10 minutes long. Like I know
was
Video
so
Brother was
long.
like messing up, but we were 17 minutes in before we hit the commercial.
Girl, I was so mad about Video Brother. It went down like 15 times the whole
15 times.
finale.
Like
I was
bitch,
pissed.
or Global, I will pay you
Literally, I was like, give me a streaming service. I'll pay you monthly. Just give it
American
to me.
dollars. Right?
So wait,
Yeah.
it was messing up for you guys too, like where it would not load or something?
Well, they kept taking the stream down,
They
like
will,
copyright.
yeah, they'll copyright it, and they
Yeah.
have to get a new link and put a new link in.
It's such a pain in the butt, but
When
whoever
we
runs
watch it live, like as
Yeah.
Canada is watching it.
Yeah. So whoever runs Video Brother, they like basically like record their cable box and they stream it. And it gets taken
They
down by
took the whole
copyright.
site down that one, like the
Yes.
before the
Mhm.
Helena week. They took the whole site down at one point. And I was like, oh my god, it's gone.
It's like what? Yeah. Whoever runs Video Brother, I highly doubt you'll ever
I
listen
feel
to
like it
this,
would be
but
cheaper just to let
you're
us
iconic.
buy into it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
Heather Lee or whatever her name is.
yes,
Like
Heather, Queen. We stand
yes,
her.
we do.
I guess punching bag.
Jameson, did you get Stan and Queen? So mark that one down.
Jameson, 2 more.
But yeah, that round one, like that first HOH comp, it was like Kevin like had to like he started stacking his a little bit differently and it worked out for him, but Betty got so close, like literally
She
standing there, like,
did.
and Kevin was
Mhm.
wobbling. I was like, come on, Kevin. Like I found myself rooting for Kevin. Like I don't know, I just
What do you mean you don't know? Just a second ago you were going to die on the hill for him, and now you're not sure if you want to. You're
I
like,
would for Kevin.
I don't know.
I'm torn between Kevin and Betty is the situation.
I mean,
in my head.
samesies.
In my
I'm
head.
just messing with you. Same. No, like Betty was so close to it, and I mean, obviously, I was like pumped that Kevin did take that win because I was like, yes, because I felt like that might be the only way that he has a path to the end.
Mhm.
And so I was super pumped about that. But then I felt bad for Betty because I always say I don't know if it's worse to win or to lose by just like this much or to lose by like this much, because I feel like sometimes when it's so close, it's like, God, if I'd have just done this one thing different or that, like you
Mhm.
replay it. But if you're like a million, like in the second part of HOH, like 30 minutes to like 2 hours or something. No, it wasn't that long, but
No, I think
actually it was. It was
Yeah.
like 2.5 hours or something like it was a long time. Like, I feel like in that situation, you're like, it would not have mattered what I did. I was not going to win.
Mhm.
So I felt bad for her in both instances, but I feel like when it's closer, it's somehow worse. That's just me.
I
I
think
don't
so
know.
too. I would sit there and be like, well, if I just like ran a little bit faster,
Yeah.
something.
Matt Hoffman has entered the chat.
What?
No, I'm saying
The
you were
real
talking
one?
about winning or losing by this much.
Oh, I was like,
I was
what?
like, the brigade is here.
They heard Casey.
Did CBS let
I was
them
like-
know to show up? Or Ooh, that
Mark.
went.
Oh, Kevin.
Oh yeah, I see where it went. Right over my head up there. I see.
Mark Hoffman Moonves.
Yes, I actually really like him. To be honest, I think he's fantastic.
Was there
But
anything
anywho.
in between? I don't think there was anything in between the first part of the HOH and then part 2.
I don't think
No,
so. They didn't show much.
nothing that I want to talk about.
With the part
So
2
we had-
HOH? Nah, just Betty's fucking
2
2
hours.
hours. Because it looked like she killed it. Like, I thought she won. I was like, she knew it. Like, she had some issues getting those balls in
She
there.
knew
But
it. Well, Marty foiled her plans. She was like,
there's no
it
way she was
has
on
to be
Marty for an hour and a
Marty.
half.
I don't know why they
Right?
didn't time her out.
For
Like,
real. I guess because
they really let her go for 2.5 hours.
I mean,
I
what
guess
happened?
because she may have went first instead.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Maybe.
Zach,
I was like,
the
damn-
brain inside your
Yeah.
noggin. You're so smart.
I didn't even think of
They're
that.
probably like, holy
either.
fuck, let's see how long, or holy crap, let's see how long Josh will take.
No, they
Mhm.
were probably like Betty went first and she did horrible, and they were probably
Josh
like, guys, we got it.
wins.
We have to use less Pam on the little things next time because those are just slipping right off. So for Josh, can we get a little rag out here and wipe those down a little bit?
Now that I
That's
think
what
about it, the
happened.
bags actually looked heavier whenever Josh was doing it.
Mm.
Really, conspiracy theories. And you know, they probably use that metallic material, just slides right off that plexiglass with the Pam on it. They have somebody behind that wall that every time that they go back in, you know, to reset, they're like, shh, shh. They're like, we've got to get this greasy butter down. Somebody's back there with a big tub of butter just rubbing it down. And then they're like, okay, Betty, try again. And she's
Those
like,
little things
I
would
can't
drop.
get it. Yeah.
I would have gotten very annoyed because where you have to restart the whole thing if you just get one thing
You have to pick the
accidentally in
balls
the wrong
back
spot.
up. That
Yeah.
had to be exhausting.
Well,
At
and
least she
that's
had a
the
little
one where Betty
slide.
would slide down the slide and look like the child. She was like,
Mhm.
woo! And every time I was like, she's so cute.
Love
Well,
her.
like, I wanted to like, and clearly she's not a child, but part of me wanted to like get at the bottom of the slide and go, come on, come on. Because she looked so like childlike every single time. She would be like, woo! And I was like, I don't know if I want to also slide or if I want to catch her and make sure she's safe, but she is having a great time right now. It was so cute. But I mean, I feel like if I were her mom, I would have put that like on the TikTok or something. Look at my baby. No, she was so great. And I felt awful for her when they
Mhm.
announced the times.
Me too.
Awful.
No, I was just thinking, oh my gosh, Josh must have done way worse.
I
And
thought it was Josh too. I was like, God damn. And I was like, please don't be Betty. Please don't.
It was.
It was terrible. Listen, I mean, can you imagine? I would literally die 3 times if I was standing there and they're like, Josh, your time is -2 minutes. That's how fast you were. Betty, Roxy, your times were 1 million hours. I'd be like, oh my God.
I'd be
That's
so
the
embarrassed.
worst.
Oh,
Like,
it's giving me
Speaking
flashbacks
too.
of Enzo and Cody right now.
yeah,
Oh, I did forget
Lord
about
help
that.
us.
Enzo's meltdown with that.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I would suck. I would be the worst competitor on the planet unless it's like, you know, Monopoly, and then I'll make you cry. But sell me your Park Place. I would be the worst. Like every single any timed event ever, it'd be like, and in last place is Roxy. We're not even going to tell you the time because it was that bad. Every time that would be me.
I just realized why Monopoly is named Monopoly.
Because you monopolize?
Literally. It's like, oh, that happens in the real world too. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
It's
It
illegal.
sure does.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
That was
felt
a deep
bad for
thought.
it. Really was. I would love to explore it more at some point.
Sorry.
I'm just messing with you. No, for real, I really would. Perhaps we'll have a chin chat next week.
A chin chat.
Who knows? If Roxy
what
gets on there, she may become a comp beast out of nowhere.
Yep, me and Kathy Hillis, both of us. We'll both be stuck in the caramel for the rest of our lives. I'm taking my time on this one.
Then she's
you're taking your time, Kathy?
She got stuck like twice.
You'll be a comp beast like Victoria.
Right? Who, by the way, Derek controlled from the beginning of the game. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, also, she almost was killed by a bird that took off with her in its mouth.
A crow, to be specific.
No, it was a condor. It was a condor for sure.
But
it was a pterodactyl.
Speaking of hours, that tiebreaker question, I would not have gotten that right.
Oh my gosh, the final 3 HOH. I was like, I would love what did they call it? A sudden death. I was like, sudden death, that sounds cool. And then it happened. And then I was like, oh my gosh.
I don't actually love it. And it is not actually cool.
I was like, Josh missed this last question, please. Josh missed it. If he would have missed one more of those questions, we would have had our fantasy final 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Kevin and Betty.
And part of me thinks that Betty would have had Canada's vote over Kevin. Kind of.
You think? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's probably wishful thinking on my part because I don't really know what everyone thinks. But
also,
after those results of the Canada's favorite player, I don't know anymore.
True.
Is it also the winner the winner isn't eligible to be the favorite player, right?
Correct.
I would assume.
No.
They can't.
Yeah, it's correct because Dick Donato at one point in time said, and rightfully so, that had he been eligible, like I don't even remember if they did win his season, but he was talking about that he was not eligible for it because he won, but had he been, that he would have won it. And I think that he would have because even though he is not, look at Casey's face. She didn't watch it live. Even though he is
I love Dick. I love Dick Donato. I'm sorry, but I think people don't like him now, but I loved his game. That was the first season I'd ever watched with my dad. So like
it was the first season Barrett watched. It was the first season that Barrett watched and saw like live and all of that. So he has an affinity for that season. But America loved the whole, I mean, when I say America, I mean also me. Loved the whole Dick and Danielle thing that first season, and I loved Nick Starcevic or whatever his name was. Like I loved all of that, and of course I watched the feed, and so
Jen, how could you not?
Oh,
love
Jen?
I
saw that somewhere. I don't know if it was on Twitter or what.
It was definitely on Twitter.
I saw her putting her little thing on it.
And now I will perform eating.
The stupidest person in the house wins the HOH on a technicality. Genius.
I will tell you who I loved from that season, though, is Joe. Oh my gosh.
Joe and Dustin were a mess.
A mess.
The first
one talking about gonorrhea.
At first I thought you were talking about Chef Joe, and I was like,
no, that's not even what the gonorrhea thing is not even what I fixate on for them. Although that was kind of like, what?
That's what I think about.
Gonorrhea. That's what comes to my mind too.
First episode, we're talking about gonorrhea.
Yeah, but that's not. But what I fixate on is also first episode, and I'm telling you. So Dustin was upstairs, right? And he goes, and he found out it was Joe, and he like almost whispers to himself, and he goes, he has huge nipples. And I'm like, What?
Remember that.
And sure enough, they were abnormally large. And every time I saw him, I'm like, find myself like, I got to get a look. What are those? That is look like a whole sausage patty. You got a hamburger on your chest right there. Like the whole time, every time, like I couldn't even stop. I'm like, why did Dustin have to say that? Did he think it wouldn't make the air? You just talked about the size of a man's nipples. Of course it's on the air.
And then Dustin came down the stairs and Joe was like, "You're wearing my shirt," or something like that. I was like, what the?
Oh, I had to cover up my giant nipples somehow.
They were like, one of them was wearing the other shirt. They're like, "That's my shirt you're wearing." I was just like, ah.
But yeah, Joe was wearing Dustin's shirt, according to Dustin.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Dustin's blonde side is still one of my favorites. Like, yeah,
Yes.
you're leaving. Take your gray shirts and get out of here because we love Joe and his large nipples. Anyway, why am I talking about this? Why? Sometimes y'all quit getting me off track.
I love a good burger nip. I don't know about you, but
How do we get to this?
can I get a
don't
McDouble
know.
with Joe's nipple on it? Thank you.
No, because we talked about, I brought up season 8 because we talked about whether or not somebody is eligible if they win.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
according to, I don't know what the rules are. I'm just saying a long time ago, Dick did say that. And I'm just like, take it face value. Okay. When CBS calls me, I'll ask them. But
There
was
was a
like,
player though that won. Am I wrong? I think I might be wrong.
I don't
I
think
think-
anyone's ever
I think
won.
Derek would have won America's Favorite if Donnie didn't.
yeah, but there was never any.
I think
Anyway,
Nicole would have won if she didn't win.
She didn't get it the second time.
Oh, that was my joke.
Mama Day did.
Oh,
Queen.
I don't think there was any way on earth that anybody other than Donnie was going to win. I mean, how precious is that man and his morning Pop Tarts? I just can't even, like, he,
And his
He's so
tall
precious.
drink of water socks.
Yeah.
yeah, they my tall drink of water socks. He said, in
That's
high
so
def.
I would love for him to do another season.
I like Donnie, and he does know the game. Honestly, he knows the game really
Mhm.
well, and he's very smart. It's unfortunate that he just was not a member of the bomb squad, whatever else name that they
But he
had.
was in the Double D.
Okay, yeah, I don't think either one of them realized the connotation that brought forth in people's minds. Don't say that. Cannot.
Yo, I need Devin, Joe, and Donnie to be in an alliance. Because
And Kevin.
No.
Devin has a daughter, though. I heard.
Devin does have
Anyway.
a daughter. And so does
Yeah, because he
Tanisha.
mentioned it every 10
Yes,
minutes.
which also was on the finale show. Tanisha did talk about the fact that she does have a daughter.
Mhm.
But I don't want to get there yet. So we're at
Sure.
second HOH, right? And Josh wins by like 1,000,000 points and or seconds, whatever. And it is down to, okay, so we got to do the final, and it is going to be.
I'm like, damn, Kevin
between-
barely lost this game in my head when that happened.
You know what? Never again, Casey, are you to say that you will die on a hill for somebody? Because this is the second time that you've trash talked and doubted.
No,
him.
I'm not. No. That's why I'm saying he's such a good player is because I thought he was gonna go at 5. I thought he was gonna go at 5 when Betty spotted him. At 4, like he was in talks to go again. At 3, he definitely should have went, and that's like I underestimated him, and I could see his game. Like I don't know.
No, you are right.
Oh,
You're
come
100% right. You're 100% right about that.
But that's whenever I realized, wow, I really do like Kevin. Is whenever I was disappointed that he lost that comp.
I
Yeah.
really would die on a hill for this man.
It was like
I really would.
because part of it is like he can't go back into that house and redo it because everybody knows what he's gonna go in there and be now. You only get one shot at being that type of a player and winning the
You only
game.
get one shot. Do not miss.
My name is Kevin Jacobs. Hey, but for real, like you can only be a villain and like be successful that one
Yeah,
time.
you can't play the same way
Yeah.
the second time
It
because
would've-
everyone already knows your game.
Exactly.
Unless you're Dan Giesling, and then you can play the same way the second time. And guess what? You get all the way to the finals again.
Dick probably would have made it far if it didn't walk.
He had, I mean, yeah.
If he had
Listen.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, he's open about it, but I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is.
No,
for
I
sure.
think that's true. I do think that's true. So we get down to Josh and Kevin, and they've got to go against each other. And I'm gonna let y'all talk for a second because my husband's running the microwave.
It's okay. So then, well, that last like the question for the tiebreaker, weren't they both off by like
Yeah, a lot.
1,000 or
2,000 hours.
something?
Like
Yeah.
I think well Josh was the closest still, but Josh had like mid 7,000, I think. Something
And
like
Kevin had like
7,300. Kevin
10.
had a little bit over 10,000. And the
Mhm.
answer was like 8,000, blah, blah, blah. And that's whenever I was like,
See, I
I'm
had
sad.
Yeah.
I
I
had
did
my
not want Josh to
screen
win.
minimized, so I thought that Josh put 700, and I saw that Kevin put 1,000. I thought that's what it was. Then I was like, "Oh my gosh, Kevin won!" That's how, because I saw that he had won, but I didn't know how he did. And I was like, "Oh, that's how he won. He won final HOH." And then they were like, "And the winner of the final HOH is Josh." And I'm like, "What? Did y'all not?" And then I went to rewind it. I was like, "Oh wait, I missed a place."
That was me when Kevin won the first part of the HOH because the spoilers, the real spoilers 1, 2, 3, I was my fantasy. I wanted to believe it.
It's my
And
fantasy too, girl.
and it was very off.
Yeah.
I kind of like more though. I like what Big Brother US does with the like did what was Natalie's most embarrassing moment?
Right.
Dating with James, or people seeing her hairy armpits.
Right. I like that more too because I always look at it as like, oh, like you know who this person is to know them well enough on if you would think like know that that's their most embarrassing moment, like type of thing. And it goes to show that like, okay, you deserve to face the jury because you know them the best. That's the way I always interpret the final HOH
That's what I
part.
thought it was gonna be with the final HOH, by the way, with her mine, and it was like the Brady
Oh yeah,
up in that bitch. It
Uh-huh.
was amazing. I thought it was gonna be based off of that whole first part of it, the
I
questions
thought it
based off
was
that,
too.
and then to find out that that was just the intro. I mean, like that sort of like editing or whatever they did, like that was really creative, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, because I like to play along, and like I was listening to every word, and I was like, okay, she said her favorite person was Ica, and then like they were doing all this stuff, and then all that, and I was like, and then
It
they
was
did the
really cute.
questions, and I was like, okay, I paid attention to all that I mean, it was funny, but. And then I was looking at the
Right.
colors, and I was like, okay, what colors are empty? And then I was like, I'm gonna win this comp.
And I'm sure they were too. I'm sure they were too because they had
Yeah.
to watch
Mhm.
it. And the question was like, okay, like who had the lower number whatever ball in the safety chain competition, Gino or JC Lynn? And I was just like,
It was very like weird questions too. I remember like the one that was like, who played or how many vetoes did JC Lynn and
and
Tanisha play in
Helena.
together? Oh, Helena, yeah,
Yeah.
play in together. And I was like, I haven't like that's such a random question for
Did
like
the
a
jury
final
win more
HOH.
HOHs or vetoes? And it's like, it's vetoes because only like 3 people won HOH during the jury thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like, though, for those questions, I feel like they're more difficult for us as the viewer because we were not
There.
involved in it. So it's like your recollection and your memory of things, I feel like is better if you are actively participating in it. So therefore, it's easier to answer this question. It's weird questions, but
Do you
where
prefer?
we think it's like, my gosh, I don't know the answer to that. I feel like
Mhm.
because they participated, are able to kind of quickly like go
Yeah.
through.
Do you prefer
So that's
that,
gonna
or do
be
you
different.
prefer the jury member like what US
Oh
does?
no, it's like what the U.S. does. I prefer that
Yeah.
a million times over, because I like to play along, and when it's the
Yeah.
things where
Yeah.
guys, I wasn't there for the competitions. I can't recall those. How am I supposed to win? I like to be able to sit at home and go, yeah, so and so won Final Three, but I beat them. Because I
I'm the
just
final
want to
HOH.
know that I'm better than they are. That's what I want to know. I
Yeah,
need proof.
on most of like because whenever they're talking like, oh well, this jury member obviously is gonna do this, and then like both of them get it wrong, I'm like, how do y'all not know? Like, I'm not even in the
Well,
house.
and
Like,
yeah, and even like in US versions, like well, not really so much in recent years, but they used to have those competitions where it would be like um headlines from outside of the house and whether or not they were real, or it would
Yes.
ask you questions about the people who are in the game with you and what they said, or
Mhm.
things that they've done and maybe prior, and you would have to guess. And I always like doing those. I mean, obviously the news ones I know the answer to. It's just fun for me to watch them go, well, I don't know who won the World Series, but as far as the ones where it's like, who's had the most plastic surgery? I love to play along with those because I'm like, you cannot tell me that those lips don't have injections in them. I'm not buying it. Like, I like playing along with those, and so I
Yeah.
do wish there was like some. I wish like they bring it back, like for US. CBS, call me and we'll talk. Okay, it's getting ready for the new season, and boy, do I have an idea for you. It's called Entertain Roxy.
I thought you were about to
It'll
say
be
it's called
swell.
the Big Wheel.
Yes, we need the
Yeah.
key wheel.
I mean, listen, I I don't care if we have the physical wheel that they, carry out, and everybody's like, "Oh, let me help you. Let me help you," because it's very big and cumbersome.
Mhm.
They can still do it digitally. Hear me out, CBS. You can still use your newfangled technology and put yourself a wheel up there. But the best part of the wheel is the order in which the safety is given and the amount of 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 importance that the players in the game put on that order, and the whole. First of all, I love all of the shots, which they do by going, okay, guys, everybody sit really still, don't say anything, look at each other, and then they make it look like it's super dramatic in between,
Mhm.
key pulls. But whatever, I fall for it every time, as if I don't
Me
know that
too.
trick.
It's so
I'm always like,
juicy.
ooh, she's so upset, when really she was
Oh,
probably
they like
thinking,
play
wish
music
they'd
and
hurry
stuff
Oh
up.
my
too.
gosh, is Rachel gonna
Yeah.
put up Brendan?
Ugh. Nobody gets between me and my man. So anyway, hello. Yeah, Clayton walked in right when I said that, and she thought that was weird. It's not weird. You're weird. Um, so anyway, I just wish that they would do more of that because I love it and miss it, and whatever. CBS never listens to me because clearly they hate me. They don't
They hate
hate
all of
me.
us. They hate all
They're
of us.
Yeah.
scared of me and my intelligence. So I couldn't even get it out with a straight face.
They're scared of Papa Roxy.
They don't want the Roxy.
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Paparazzi. They are scared of my power that I wield at all times. They're
Right.
terrified. Yeah, they told
Also,
me in a fax.
I want to point out how Josh's finale tux was looking eerily similar to Kevin Martin's.
Shirt. Oh.
Was it
Kevin Martin?
really?
I liked
Not
it
Kevin's,
though.
or Josh's finale
Yeah,
tux.
Josh's look
Yeah.
like Kevin Martin's,
Martin's.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Josh's tux looked like Kevin's shirt that he was wearing a little bit, but now that
I
I'm
mean,
actually looking at it, it's not.
I don't know about that comparison. I'm just saying I liked the way what both of them wore on finale night. I did not like
Mhm.
what Arissa wore. Like her
Betty looked
dress-
so good too.
Betty looked
she's-
hot.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Arissa's dress looked like it had a bunch of teeth on it, and I was very confused. It looked like she had giant wisdom teeth all over the skirt of her outfit. And again, I'm trying to like, no, Roxy, pay attention to what these are important things that are being said, but I'm like, she has more teeth on that dress than are actually in a human mouth. So I'm not really sure what direction she's got. What is the message she's sending us? Like, is she applying to dental school? Is she perhaps a collector of teeth, which would be really weird?
She's the tooth fairy.
Yeah.
She's got a crush on The Rock, who is the tooth fairy, if you've seen that movie.
Oh, I loved that movie when I was a kid.
I just watched it so recently. And Gunnar came in and he goes, "Are you watching The Tooth Fairy?" And I was like,
With Madison
no,
Petting, who's like a Fenty model now. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, so Josh voted out Bethlehem.
Petty Betty.
Can we
He
talk
did,
about his
and
like speech?
Betty broke my heart during that. Like
Mhm.
when he voted her out, first of all, it's not a big deal. I mean, he does cry quite a bit, but quite a bit. We all
Not as
know
much
how
as he
I
did
feel
when
about
fucking Kevin almost left. I keep guessing. I can't
He bought-
stop.
I know. I'm not getting any hubba bubba from this, I'll tell you.
Sorry, I have no filter. Filter it.
Zip it up. I need the hubba bubba. No, he did cry so much when Kevin did the whole like pretending that I'm self-evicting thing.
Mhm.
But when Betty was evicted and he cried, but then she cried and she was so upset and she like went down to the floor for a second. I was just like not crying at all about this.
She threw herself up
Betty.
those stairs. Like
Yeah.
it was hard.
I hated it because so we all know how I feel about people who cry like 1,000 million times inside the house. It's like, okay, everybody gets upset and they cry and get emotional about things, but I don't want you to do it every single day, multiple times. Stop it. Get control. Betty, she was explosive. She definitely was emotional in the house and showed her emotions and sometimes vulnerability. But she wasn't a crybaby. Josh, I'm looking at you. She wasn't a crybaby, Vanessa Russo. But
Don't you dare come for my queen.
I love Vanessa, but the fact is she cried a lot. It made it very difficult for me to watch
She
the feeds every
was
day
still
of
a
my life.
queen.
She is still a queen. She's a queen. Mark it down, Jameson. She's a queen. She's a queen. She's a queen. It's 100% true. But
Queen, one
Betty,
more.
she's a queen. But Betty, who also is a queen, by the way.
Yes.
Icon.
I feel like I have to say it because Daniel's not here. Someone has
I know,
to
right?
do
We
that
have to be
job.
like queen, queen, queen.
I've got to make up the quota. And so, and poor Jameson's like typing away, like, slow down. I can't keep up. And so, anyway, Betty, she rarely has those emotional breakdowns like that. And so, it was so genuine and authentic that when it occurred, I mean, like, it really did rip her, heart out. It gutted her that somebody who she thought she had this with just sent her home, and I just can't even imagine like being again, it's like the first part of the HOH. You're this close and it's like goodbye, as Reagan says, goodbye, turkey sandwich, it's gone. And so it made me hurt for her. I was like, what is this strange emotion that I'm feeling? Is it empathy? Because I was sad for her. I hated it. It was so
I was
sad.
excited for Kevin, so
I was shocked.
Same.
I was shocked, but
I'm
I was also
shocked.
like, okay, well, Josh is losing. Majority thought was gonna happen, but that just kind of really secured the deal.
honestly, I think Josh was gonna.
I think he loses against Betty because of the Canada vote.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm trying to
I don't
think
think
of.
Josh would have won against anybody in the Final Four.
other than Helena, I think he could have beat Helena.
I don't think he would have won
I
against
don't know that he
JC Lynn
could
either.
have.
Well, no, he
I-
didn't.
I don't think he wins against anyone in the final five.
I mean, yeah, probably.
He could
I
win
mean,
against a moose, maybe.
Moose.
He
y'all.
wouldn't have.
Maybe like Tanisha or Kyle.
Summer.
I
He
don't
went home
know.
first.
Kyle played a
Who with the
pretty,
first boot? He could have won against her.
but
Could have won against Marty.
no, I don't know.
I mean, he really couldn't have, which is sad, to be honest. So
I think you would.
Josh is a kingmaker.
they get down, Betty leaves and she does regain her composure a little bit, and then she breaks down again talking to Arissa. I was just like, don't cry, Roxy, don't cry, people will see. I was like, oh, so sad. And I did hate all of that. But so then when we get to the part where it goes to the questions, dude, Kevin, bow down. For those who are audio only, I just want you to know that I am miming bowing down, because that is how important it is that you know how much I feel this. Like, Kevin, he was perfection in every single answer that he gave. But he has been all season. He has that innate ability to tell people what they want to hear in a way that does not sound disingenuous in the least. How does he do it? He's so good. But when he got to his speech and Moose stood up and was like, yeah, I was like,
Moose was like,
my God.
Yeah,
I
Moose
mean,
was like,
We
come
just,
on.
it was fire.
but y'all skipped over
We did skip over
Petty
Helena
Betty
and Betty meeting the jury.
going off on
Yes.
Helena.
Yeah. No, I do want to talk about that.
Wait,
Go
what?
ahead.
She didn't go off on
Who did-
Helena.
Was it Helena?
No, it was Moose and Herman.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was more so Moose. From the clip.
Okay, I thought that she was, because she was saying, because Helena was standing up and she said, sit down.
She was saying that to Moose because if you
And
watch it
Mason-
back, Moose is like,
Okay.
dude,
They're like clapping and like standing up when Betty walked out, and I was like, you better sit your ass the fuck down. I know that, because
I think she would have
Betty
picked
does
Josh
not
up in a
deserve
final
it.
two speech. Yeah, Betty literally fought
Barrett
until
is
the
in
end.
chat. Attention. Barrett Pfeiffer.
Oh my
Who?
God, Barrett
It's
is
in
in the
chat.
chat.
Everyone bow down to Barrett.
I saw that tweet too, Barrett. I saw the tweet. I saw the tweet, Barrett.
I don't know who's worse with crying, Josh Martinez or Josh from this season.
Josh from this season. And I only say that because it's fresh in my mind.
I think that Josh from
Because
this
it's fresh
season
in my
was
mind.
a little bit better at controlling his emotions, but Josh Martinez.
It's a hot mess.
Like, I don't know what else to, like, his
Well,
clown
and that
stuff.
wasn't even original. That was so unoriginal, but whatever.
Yeah, he pulled an evil dick. He did.
Well, he pulled an evil dick at the behest of Paul, so it was doubly
True.
unoriginal.
True.
No, so let's talk about Petty Betty. She did not have a hairdryer in hand, although I wish that when she left and met Arissa, that Arissa would have pulled from beneath her wisdom tooth dress a hairdryer and handed it to her before she met the jury, because I feel like she needed it. I do hate you, she said. She said, get out of here. I'm done talking to you. I'll let you know when we can talk again.
And
Okay, now we're going to talk again.
She also ruined.
love Betty.
She ruined Kevin's unanimous.
She
vote.
did.
From what I've seen, like, she was surprised that she was the only person that voted for Josh.
She was.
And she really thought that Kevin just got there. Like, she was like, I need to watch the season back. And I can't wait for her to watch it back and like tweet about it and stuff.
I think that's so indicative of somebody who is the last person out of the house. It's like you still are in that.
Like Cynthia.
You don't get to
Yes, like
compare those
Cynthia.
notes.
That's exactly what happened.
It is. It's
Yeah,
exactly what Cynthia did.
Yep.
She got out of the house and was like, oh, everyone must love Todrick. And it was like, girl, no.
Yeah, and it took her a while to figure out that, you could not be more wrong. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's the case a lot of the time, is especially when you have a player like Kevin who who literally runs the entire house the entire season and makes every single person that he comes in contact with think that they are in charge. He did that. And so she literally did not realize that he had any kind of power whatsoever. She knew he was a snake. She didn't know that he was a powerful snake.
He was the king
I think
cobra.
she thought like
Yeah, he
more
was.
well-roundedly Josh had won more competitions and that like well-roundedly he played a better game, but it's like truthfully the only game that Josh played was Kevin's game.
Mm-hmm.
The
And he
only
proved
game
it.
anybody played was Kevin's game.
Yes.
You're
But
right.
Josh did exactly that when he said in his eviction speech to Betty, like, "Oh, he literally said that this
That
person's played the
confused
better
me because
game."
I think
And
I don't know if he was thinking about Betty. I think because the way that he explained it in the interviews afterwards was like, well, Betty had like been on the block 5 times, like she had won some competitions. Like I think that because she had won more competitions, he felt like she had a better case, and she took out Daisy Lynn, which is a big person. She really didn't have to take out
mhm.
anybody else because she was sitting next to them. So I get it from his perspective.
Exactly. Because I mean, he thought that about Helena, and he thought that about
Yeah.
Betty. Like, so when he's looking at the final four, and collectively, it's like, okay, well, Kevin's only won just that one veto. So, I mean, he did win part 1 of HOH, but that hadn't occurred yet when he's having all of these thoughts. It's like he really felt like the resumes that everyone else had, because and I think it also has to do with the fact that Josh is a good physical competitor, and so therefore he puts more um stock in or emphasis on that, as opposed to a more strategic and mental game, which he does not possess. So he felt like he gave more weight to what he is good at, and that's why he felt like that the bigger threat to his game, or I guess whatever it was that would hold him back from winning, would be somebody who did have a better resume of physicality, and that wasn't Kevin. And so basically he misjudged the entire thing, and it cost him
Yeah.
$80,000.
And like Kevin, which we had seen this a little bit with the Final Four scenario when they were in Expedia, Kevin being like, making these other people bigger targets. Like Kevin was like, I'm going to be a 0 vote finalist, and he was still preaching that to Josh. Even when they won when Josh won the final 3 HOH, he said that he like hugged Josh and was like, wow, we're going to the end together. And I think that he just, because his job is like a sales engineer, and he literally just like assumed the sale, I think, at the end, and he got him there. It was wild.
It was so fun to watch.
Have y'all
The whole season was fun to watch.
heard the
Mhm.
term kingmaker?
Oh,
I don't think so.
Kingmaker, King.
it sounds like a punch or something.
So the term
Delicious.
kingmaker is basically and I saw is in the final, or whoever wins the final HOH and doesn't go on to win the game, but chooses the person to sit next to them.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
kingmaker. So Josh is a kingmaker. Cody
That
is
makes
a
sense.
kingmaker.
Yeah, yeah.
Paul,
Paul is a kingmaker.
2.0.
Okay.
Twice.
Mhm.
Yeah, twice. Yeah, I like that. Josh really did he underestimated Kevin's game, and he
Mhm.
overestimated his own game, as well as the people that he chose to send home.
Yes.
And he just had no grasp on jury management, and all like it's like he didn't understand that the things that he held important were not the things that the jury necessarily was going to hold important, because they were going sans Betty, they were going to be allowed to talk to each other and compare notes, And when that happens, and you have a player who's under the radar intentionally so, like Kevin, not like Victoria, you realize, oh, he told you that, and then this move was made. Wait, but he told me this, and then that move was made. And then they slowly come to this realization of, holy crap, Kevin just played all of us all game. And see, Josh doesn't have that information. And this is what in the Big Brother house, you have to be aware that these type of players exist. It's like you get, like, players like Josh get tunnel vision basically, and they think that in his game it's not bad. I mean, physically he did win a lot, but when you don't have your hand in the actual strategy of it, okay, well, someone does, and you better figure out who it is. But he just didn't.
Yeah,
He never come full circle to that.
Strategy never clicked for Josh, and when he was voting people out, like, he didn't have a buffer of someone that was also kind of taking a little bit of that blowback, like what Helena was. For example, I don't know, I think it was like the last jury segment, but I remember Moose going to Gino and being like, Helena said that you didn't want her to use the veto, and Gino was like, no, I did. Like, and that's where I think, like, Helena kind of took that, like, Moose was like, okay, well, Helena lied to me then. And then Gino's like, yeah, well, she played me too. And I don't know. At least, like, that blame was falling on two people instead of just, like, one.
I think.
Yeah.
I think Josh's reasons for why he won the game stems back to the reasons why he was almost taken out in pre-jury, which is, like y'all were saying, he didn't understand the strategic side. He had great personal relationships. He had great relationships with people in the house, but he was not talking game with anyone. Like, you can talk with people, like, personally all day, but if you're not talking game with people, there are other people who are talking game with them. Your personal relationships can only get used so far. And that's what goes back to whenever he almost gets put on the block and everything, or because of that, he's playing catch up and making up for all those strategic relationships, and he's getting mixed up in what's personal and what's strategic and doesn't know that side.
I honestly think him going on the block that round was the best thing that could have happened for his game, because that's really when people started putting, like, their eggs in his basket a little bit more than what they were before. And I mean, I wonder how Kyle feels being like, yeah, I almost backdoored this huge threat. Like, no, it was the person that got one vote at the end. It's a whole meme this season, and
it is
so chaotic. I did not expect the ending to go like this at all. I thought Kevin would be there.
I'm thrilled though,
Yeah.
but I did, because I mean, the only time I really wavered was the last week, where I was like, Kevin, you are in some serious trouble.
Oh, he was out at 5 if Helena didn't win that veto.
I
That's
was
for sure.
rude.
Yeah, that's so true. And I was so disappointed, honestly, that we did not get to see a lot of the maneuvering that took place in order to keep himself safe in this very, very end game. Because when we left off, and we were speculating of what is Josh going to do with this veto, and Kevin sitting on the block, it was the first time that I was truly worried about him in the game, because from day one, I've been Kevin, this guy, Kevin, like, he's amazing. And so I really hate that I don't have the opportunity to actually see whatever magic that he pulled off, because I can guarantee you it wasn't by chance what happened. Like, he made it, whatever happened happen. We just don't get to see it, and that's disappointing. However, I'm thrilled with the way that it turned out. Kevin's speech was fire.
Yes.
He was like a coach in a locker room, pumping his team up before the big game. And in this case, the big game was, you're going to vote for me to win. I can't help but think like, does he possess the ability to like plant subliminal messages into our brains or something?
The
Because
serotonin I feel when I listen to Kevin like talk strategy is just a lot. Like, and at the end, he basically was like, on day 7, which was I think with the day after the eviction, like the first eviction, you know, he just started his spiel, and then at some point he got to the jurors and he was like, Herman, you were gonna beat me, Moose. Like, he really didn't want Moose out there, so he just said something personal. Like
he's very
Summer.
self-deprecating a lot, and I feel like when you're self-deprecating, you're planting that idea in someone else's brain. Like if you are constantly telling
Yeah.
somebody else, like, you are so much better than I am, like I'm like, dude, I suck at this game, then they are going to, whether they want to or not, they're going to view you as less threatening.
Perception is
Mhm.
reality.
Yes,
Mhm.
especially in that
And
game.
he self-deprecated every chance that he got. Deprecated, not defecated. That would be weird. Like, that's a whole different game, and I don't think that one would work.
But no, he
But
really
Perception
did. I
is
definitely
our
think he did week
reality.
1. He definitely did week 1 with like his bubble guts or whatever. And then
yeah,
like in the whenever they're talking about like Josh and Kevin, I think they panned back to it, but Kevin's wearing his like brace or whatever. I don't know if it was on his knee or his arm or where it was, but you can see it. I think it was like right here. You can just see it, and he
and
used
that's such a
everything he could.
strategic move too. Like, listen, if
Very
I were playing
resourceful.
that game, and I never would, but if I were, and I like literally, if I bumped my head this much, I would be concussed. You know what I mean? Like, I would be like not to the raven. Like, I'm not gonna have an inverted spine or backwards kneecaps or any of those things. I'm not gonna get salmonella in only my pinky, which is something that she said. Like, that's not even how that works. But she said that you don't get salmonella in one digit. Okay, that's not how that
One
works.
digit.
Okay?
Was it
Like,
staff?
probably, and she didn't even have that. She just didn't know what it was called. She said salmonella. I'm like, yeah, from that raw chicken that you just served Matt Klein's, that poor fella. But whatever. The first time he doesn't eat cereal, it's raw chicken that she made for him.
Was it
Sorry, that
really?
she made for him. Yeah, dude, it was nasty.
I need to
She
Her
was
Google.
cooking was
nasty.
atrocious on the feed.
Yeah, it was horrible, horrible. Yeah, it was like, no, like, it's a wonder the entire house didn't have, the salmonella.
They were panicking.
Salmonella. But anyway, like, if I were playing that game, I mean, any little thing, if I accidentally cut a cuticle cutting my nail, do you know how infected that would be? Y'all, I cannot play the next game. My finger under this big bandage, it is so swollen. And I'm running a fever. It's infected. Like, I would play up every single thing just to make myself be at a disadvantage, because any perceived disadvantage to me makes everyone else feel superior. And in this game, I want for people to feel like they have the upper hand on me when in fact they do not. That's the game.
Just have Jace
That's
break your leg. Jason.
I could do that. Jason, yeah. Jason, piggyback ride me, break my leg. I will vote from the hospital.
Change
And
your
then I
name
will run
to
someone
from
over.
Cannot.
change your name from Roxy to Thanksgiving or Halloween. Pick or
Yeah.
choose your holiday.
I think, yeah. I
Easter.
can go with that.
Not
4th of
Easter.
July. Back
Okay,
it up, Terry.
the
Sorry.
picture of Raven when she's like crying, you know what I'm talking about, where her makeup is just like a line down. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my god. I love that.
Her
What
picture.
illy
happened?
applied makeup.
What happened that night?
That was when
No.
she like fell and like hurt her ankle or something. And she was like crying because she like hurt herself. And then she was like limping and then not limping like a few minutes later. And then when someone would walk by and she'd be like, oh, start
She's like
limping.
for real. It's like watching a 1972 episode of The Brady Bunch and Jan is injured. That's what it was like, because
Yes.
it would be like, hey, you were limping on the other leg earlier, Jan. And she's like, Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. And then does a cartwheel. So that's how that worked. God, she's so annoying. And all that makeup, I was like, I hope you cry more. You're the only person in Big Brother history that I want to cry more. And it's not because I want you to cry. It's because I want you to cry all of that ridiculously applied makeup off of your face. Because not only do you not know how to make chicken, you also do not know how to apply blush, foundation, lipstick that is a becoming color with your natural coloring. Girl, no. I'm sorry. I just, Although they do have good barbecue in her town. I will say that.
Kevin's speech reminded me of Kevin Martin's speech.
I
Oh,
can,
really?
I think. From what I
Kevin's
saw.
speech was more like Paris's. Like, this is
I'm
my
gonna say
game.
Paris. Yeah.
Paris's speech, like I could watch it right now
Really?
and it would give me life. Like I would be emotional about it all the
Paris's speech was crazy.
time. She was like, like
He was like screaming.
but I loved it. Like
It was
that's
good.
like that's
See-
how you should be after however many days.
Here's what I think should happen for final or the finale. So, okay. You have the last person evicted, and then your final two. But I think that there should be a next, like maybe like the next day or something, and let the jury marinate on everything in the last house guest, and then they're able to have a longer Q&A, or like Survivor does a little bit, and able to have more time with, not that in this situation I feel like it would have been, the outcome would have been the same, but
It would have, but it can make a difference in others, especially in a closed vote. And in the US, it used to be where there was more time. Like Q&A took place. Like, I mean, like the final two would be in the house for like days together. And we still had feeds, and they're like literally doing nothing.
Yeah.
They're like in season 8, Dick and Danielle weren't even in the same side of the house for hours, not talking at all. I mean, it was like
Really?
they would give them arts and crafts and things like that to do. Because for
prison.
I mean, honestly, that's exactly, yeah. It's
I
like,
do remember
here's
that.
some pottery that you can paint if you're bored. They would be in the house for a very long time because the Q&A would take place, and then with the final evictee. The final evictee would be at the Q&A. And so then you had that, and then it would go to the finale. So when the Q&A occurred, it was not live, it was recorded. So there was a greater time in between the actual live vote and when the other things happened, where they would be able to marinate and perhaps discuss. And so I do think that it could have changed for some things. I agree with you, Zach, though I don't believe that it would have changed the trajectory of this season, but
I just always hate where they're like, okay, Roxy, Roxy. Oh, okay, you're done. Okay.
I know
we
when
got a live show.
It's awkward.
And it's like, and I do feel like that it makes, not that they don't rehearse their answers or their big speech, or kind of have like, at least, I mean, if you're smart, at least some sort of an idea of what you're going to say, right? That everybody does that. But I feel like that it when you're on that timed, limited, like little bit of time that you have to answer these questions, it doesn't lend itself to like authenticity, because you have this much time to, I feel like if you had more time to kind of finesse your answer, maybe we could see some really funny things that are said where people are just talking out of their buttholes and like in circles, or you're going to see some really well thought out answers that really might actually change the way people like envision or see, the way that you played the game. And so I feel like it's kind of like it's kind of unfair, to be honest. But since when is Big Brother fair? Never. So I mean,
Just
it's
Never.
just
ask
part
the
of
right
it.
gummy bear.
I mean, for real, drawing Skittles out
The
of
whole
bags.
season
Gummy bear. What
changed
is
that
it?
week.
It really did.
Yeah.
Imagine if Gino picked a different one.
And where was I? Where was I? Not here. That's where.
Kevin, he talks about like wanting diagrams and stuff of that, which like it's 25% chance, but the way that Marty did it, I guess, like he went to Gino last, so Gino had a larger chance of going on the block because of that. I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Gino also had the
Like Gino
option
had
of
a
not,
50% chance at that point. Like he
Mhm.
could have went to Gino and JC Lynn first.
and then he could have not put in a gummy bear.
Yeah, he could have just done that.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, and now
He really
Gino's
shoulda.
Gino can't
That's
spell
when, like,
nominees.
Like
Hindsight.
how?
He VEO or VETO.
I don't know. I don't know what he said when he was voting. He was like, "I'm gonna VETOIE." It's like, what is
Yeah, I mean, what
happening?
are you? Yeah,
Is
I
this a
don't
bingo?
know, but
BINGO? That's what it felt like. Just spell that out.
that's so funny. That's so funny, Casey.
Also, I'm
Summers
just.
though was go ahead. You
Oh
say
no,
it.
I was just saying. Every time, whenever Arissa is saying, again, you're voting for who you want. I'm like, oh my gosh, Topaz is literally
I
rolling
know, poor
around.
Topaz. Never live it down. Never
She can
forget.
never watch a
Topaz.
finale again.
What's
Yeah,
terrifying? The
yeah.
PTSD alone. No, I was gonna say Summer, her little speech voting, I thought was hilarious. Very Summer, very. She was on brand
Very.
for sure.
She
Mhm.
stated something I think Josh said to her as well.
Mm-hmm.
She said something
Yeah.
that was like,
If Summer doesn't
I
get a
was-
second chance,
She
I
better.
loved her.
okay, I loved
really
Summer
did.
like a social player, but like strategy,
Mhm.
she kind of fell
None
off
whatsoever.
strategy.
Mm-hmm.
She
No,
got
but-
she got
Yeah.
Kyle out, which is all she really wanted. After that, like she didn't care what happened the rest of the game. As long as she
Yeah,
was
but I just want to be your friend. Like,
yeah.
I just think she's
course.
really fun.
I want a Big Brother US and Canada season.
Who would
I
that
would
be made
love
of?
that.
Oh,
Let's see.
I would love that.
Dan and Kevin in one house.
Oh
I
my
would be
gosh.
deceased.
Wow.
Obviously,
Make
Kevin
it
Martin would be in there.
Vanessa, that would have to be like icon season. Like I don't even know like who would produce that. Hopefully global.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, they've had international players on BB Can before.
But
What's
Big
his
Brother
name from-
US has never opened up or even talked about other.
Never.
That's what I don't like because I never knew that like these were things until I got.
Mhm.
Well, I think it was like I was actually watching BB9 whenever I got into like orgs and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I never knew that like the Canadian Big Brother was so good until I really looked into it on Reddit.
What? I've been watching it since the very beginning.
Me
Marsha
too.
Moose and all of
She's
that.
not answering the phone.
Also,
Mhm.
why didn't we get Marsha?
We got her.
We got
We got
her
her once.
when Kevin threatened to quit. Or not
Yeah.
threatened.
Oh,
When
yeah.
Kevin was told to quit.
Oh, okay.
His mission was from
Yeah.
Marsha.
Okay, yeah.
But the fact that Marsha came the week after Moose was evicted, like
I know.
I
Everyone
know
was like,
that's
what
so
the hell?
funny. The irony. I loved Summer though. Was there anybody else who's had anything that they said that you were like, yes? Or was everybody else just kind of like, whatevs?
Tracy Lynn.
Betty's was just like, what are you talking? Like,
I was about to say that
I
Casey
thought-
Betty's was very random because she was like, I'm voting for the person who actually played the game.
I
And
was like, oh, Josh should not get her vote.
And then yeah. And I was like, oh, she's voting for Kevin.
That's what
Not that
And then-
pre-jury delusional.
She said that. Yeah, she said that. And then she voted for Josh. But again, she doesn't
She
have the
doesn't
benefit
know.
of
Yeah.
knowing the things that everyone else knows. And so
Uh-huh.
forgivable. But for a brief
Oh,
second, I was
it
like,
is.
oh, Betty voting for Kevin. And then I was like,
It's like Petty
oh,
Betty
no.
came out one last time.
But I'm also wondering, like, because she called Kevin a snake,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't trust Kevin because of some of the stuff that he was doing.
Right.
Mhm.
But she didn't
So,
think he had control.
okay, yeah. I guess that's
She just thought he was a snake and a rat and untrustworthy, and that the
She
reason he's
wanted,
sitting
yeah.
there is because he had just lied to people to get ahead, not that he pulled the strings to get there. He is a
Mhm.
snake. This is true. He is a snake. She's right on that.
Mhm.
She was wrong on the methods. Not
of
really
how
the
people
methods. She was
how
She
she
just
people
was
didn't
perceived
think
wrong
his
of the
on
strategy.
snakiness.
yeah, she just didn't really understand the full scope of his snakiness and the intention behind it. It wasn't just, oh,
Like
I
him
have to
throwing
stay
people
one
under
more
the
week.
bus. I think she
It
thought
was
that he just like threw people under the bus whenever it was convenient to him to get
mhm.
further. When really, like, he implanted,
He's a
like, this
million
is good for
steps
your
ahead.
game. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So
JC
no, go ahead, go.
JC Lynn's little vote saying I really liked what she said. In a house full of snakes, I'm
Oh,
voting for the king cobra.
yeah. I was like,
Oh, that was good.
I love that too, because he is the king cobra. He
Mhm.
is the king cobra,
He's
and
kind of
I don't
the
mind
king, he's the
snaky
queen,
behavior.
he's the icon. Like, it's gonna be like, okay, that game that he played is how I wanted Peter to play. I think in the first season, Peter and Alex or whatever.
oh yeah.
The shield.
The shield, literally the shield.
No, Nick, don't you dare thumbs down.
But that's how Peter came into the game. He's like, I'm gonna be a villain and slimy, and I'm gonna be such a like. He didn't have the adaptability or the personality that
Mhm.
Kevin has to actually, like, for people to like him and want him to stay longer, and strategy wise. But
Mhm.
I'm just
But
really
I like
impressed.
them though. I did like them. Look at Nick. He cannot stand me right now. Nick
I
hates my guts
cannot
right now.
stand Peter Brown. He
I
annoys the
love
living
Peter.
hell out of me.
He,
I
No.
like Peter.
you can't not say that him acting like he's falling asleep during his question of Julian is not funny.
Oh, he was like,
Obnoxious.
rude to Julian. What did he say to Julian?
He said, Julian, without talking about competition wins, what was your strategy and why should I vote for you to win?
He called her like the worst player or something. Like he
Yeah.
literally sent he talked his crap to her.
And that's what she wants.
And he was like checking his watch. He was like,
Remember Julian
Nick,
being like,
why you shake your head? You know good and well if Betty had stood up there and said that crap to Marty, we would all be praising it right now. But
Yes, because I like Betty and I don't like Marty.
exactly. Well, exactly.
Canada
But I'm
likes
just
Marty.
saying it's not really any different. It's just like it's not the words, it's the person saying the words that the problem is.
You are correct. Because I do not fuck with Peter Brown.
No, I like him. I think he's smart and funny.
Julian is the worst, and I said that.
No, I don't think that though.
Jillian is not
No.
the worst in my
I'm just kidding.
opinion.
No, I do think I think Jillian's a phenomenal player. I just didn't dislike Peter. I just didn't. I don't. But
I don't
whatever.
mind Julian, but
Peter's
in
not.
my heart of hearts,
I would have rather Peter.
she should not have won.
I agree with that.
no,
I
Julian
do agree
Julian
with
should
that.
not have won that. Like,
No,
She won
because
on
like
accident.
even she should. I mean, like
She did win on accident. I will
Yeah,
definitely
so-
agree with that.
Well, we
I
have
just
some of those in US
Peter gets under
too.
my skin.
We have more than our fair share of people who have accidental wins.
I was thinking about whenever they were doing the little winners montage at the beginning. I was like, wow, imagine having winners that aren't toxic or aren't getting canceled. BBUS could never.
I mean, isn't that the truth? Last time I checked, which has been a couple of years, Jackson Mickey wasn't even listed on the CBS website. Kudos to CBS for that. Mama, I need
Well, yeah. Now that he's come out,
milk.
he's came out with an addiction.
Right.
I mean, give me a break. There's a lot of people addicted in this world, Jackson Mickey. But the last time that I checked, being addicted to anything on earth doesn't make you racist.
I was addicted to ibuprofen.
I was addicted to watermelon and my mama and chocolate milk, and it made me say horrific things. But I'm still the least racist person I know. He said those words. You're the what? I'm sorry, what? You're the least racist person you know. So you're the least racist. That means all of the other people that you know are way more racist than you, and you are very racist. So you see, the words that you have said, you may think sound good, but really what you're doing is this: dig, like get in that hole and cover yourself up with that dirt, Jackson. Ugh, gross. To take your stool with you. I don't mean poop.
Is Betty? I didn't know that Betty was black.
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
Caitlin in chat says, "Mama, am I racist?" As they cut to commercial. Yes, that happened.
No, as they cut from the season and ended on that.
Yeah, they're like, the end. Mama, am I racist?
And I thought he was saying, yes. I'm not racist.
He said, I'm not racist, am I, Mama? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Where's Mama when you
I don't
care to
know. We're just Southern, honey. It's a stereotype, as Aaron would say. Like
Holly should have won. I said what I said.
She should have.
If only she could speak.
I know.
I cannot get on board with that, but
if she would have had a better speech,
she's better than Mickey.
Well, listen, as horrible, and I do mean horrible. I think we all know how I feel about Jackson Mickey and a sex stool, but him putting the deodorant on his undercarriage every day. What is that about? Every day he get out of the shower and he gets that stick of deodorant and it just shoves it up under that. And I'm like, what do you do? Where are you putting that, sir? What are you doing? And can I introduce you to perhaps aerosol, because you are using that on your taint and your armpits, and that is unsanitary, sir. Don't. But anyway, I digress. Oh, no. Look, I watch the live feed, y'all. I see what I see. That man ate eggs in the shower and did all kinds of things that I disagree with. And so, anyway, it's true. I'm not even making any of it up. But as much as I cannot stand him, and I think we are all clear on that, right? I do not like him. He played a good game strategically, aside from the bigotry.
Right.
He did outplay her. And you have to, like, you don't have to separate that. You don't have to do that. I personally am going to choose to look at it that way, because if Holly had won, no thanks. I don't want Beth up there. No. I would tell. Can we put Tommy up there? Put anybody else up there. Put Nicole. Put Jackson Mickey's right cowboy boot up there and let that be the winner. And that's fine with me. You could have put his tainted, I said that on purpose, deodorant stick up there and had that win, and I would have been happy with that as well. But Holly, come on. Holly, I work at a zoo. Holly Allen, 24, Wyoming.
If Holly comes back, she'll win out.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like she'll learn from her lesson and everything.
I think.
And listen, if she has redemption, that's fine. Everybody deserves redemption. Well, not everybody. Actually, that was a bold-faced lie. Everyone does not deserve
redemption.
I don't know.
I ain't calling you a dumbass.
Look, Erin has grown.
That's not a cuss word either.
I don't know, actually, if she has or not. I really don't.
Oh wait,
even
it's
know.
Jackass. Sorry.
I'm just saying the people at the beginning of the season I much prefer over the people at the end of the season.
Mhm.
Like give me back an Ovi and cookies. Give me back
Kimmy and her water bottle.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, Kimmy and her shaker bottle, please. Please. The Kimmy shaker bottle should have won that season, to be honest.
Like, dude.
I mean, dude, there were so many questionable, objectionable people on that season that I get physically nauseated thinking about it. But
We
at the bit
stand Cat Dunn. Just saying.
oh my gosh, never in my life have I had such a turnaround as I had with Kat Dunn. And I don't have a problem admitting it. I was so wrong about her because at the beginning of the season, and I'm watching it, and she's
You
all
hated her
like,
because Damien liked her.
well, it wasn't because of Damien. Damien did love her, and he likes to tell me how much that he loves her. And I do love Damien. He's great. But she was just like, I'm, doing all my pictures and I have my paparazzi, and I'm like, I cannot deal with you all season. But then, what a breath of fresh air. I love her. I love
too.
her. She entertained me so much in that house. I mean, she's not a good player. Let's not get crazy. She's not a
No.
good player at all.
She's entertaining.
But personally, and just pure entertainment, I could not have been more wrong about who she is as a person. And had I had a chance to actually understand her personality, now when I look back at that opening part where she's walking around and doing the pictures and stuff, it's funny to me now because I understand her humor now. But before I was
Mhm.
like, is
Wait,
she
who?
serious?
Cat.
Catherine Dunn.
Oh.
But
Queen.
like I was like,
Yes, Casey.
she has got to go home. But I'm telling you, once she
I would love
was
her in
in
another
there,
season.
I
She's-
changed my mind real quick. She's
She
great.
She could
was
win a
great on
season.
X on the Beach last night, let me just say.
I need to catch up on that still, but I truly think Kat could win a season of Big Brother. It's not that season because
Well, I
Or
her
think she could
showmance
now.
broke up with her, and then she got
As
with
long as
somebody
she,
else.
yeah,
Romance.
she didn't watch any
She
seasons before she
didn't
came
know
on.
how to play. She had no idea how to play.
Yeah.
She'd never seen it.
Mhm.
But I do think I agree. Like I do think that if she were to play again with the knowledge that she gained, I do think that she could do well. And yes, I agree, Natalie in chat. Thank God Kat left Nick. And
Not
in
me.
his poor choice of haircut that he has. Like, I don't know why you were still cutting your hair like you're a fan of George Clooney on ER. Like, stop doing that. My gosh.
Well, it's also like what happened, like Nick and Bella, Kat. Like, it was just interesting. Like Bella actually.
What a weird season.
I didn't like Bella. Bella was not a good person.
Bella was
in the house.
not a
so
good
for that to
person.
happen to her, it's like karma.
I agree.
Wow.
For you coming for Nicole's anxiety.
Exactly.
That's it.
Oh, I loved Nicole Anthony that season.
Me too.
What
I wanted to go over
doll.
like how do y'all like ratings for this season? Like
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Out of 10.
Season 10.
I would put it like up there. So season 2 is my favorite for Canadian seasons, and I don't know if I'm biased of this too because I like loved watching that season live. The feeds for that season were like top tier for
season
me.
3.
Yeah,
I
couldn't imagine the feeds after the letters. I couldn't imagine that.
Right. So like imagine like stuff like that, but like live. So
yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
like
how I
season
feel about
2 for
Kevin
me
right
was
now.
like 1, and then after that I would probably put 10 because I loved it. Like loved it.
I like season 3, but I honestly, I really feel like season 10. I think season 10 is my favorite Canadian season. How weird is it that season 10 it would be my favorite Canadian season, and season 10 is also my favorite US season?
It's those
Weird.
10s.
Might be recency bias.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
Mama, am I biased to the number 10?
Not that.
I just, oh, really? Shy Boy says I'm on the season. I just didn't like the grouping of the Black House guests from Kyle and Marty, and it was bad. I do agree with that. And can we talk? Speaking of, can we talk for a second about? Look, I wish Arissa hadn't even announced anything about Canada's favorite player. Canada, what is wrong with y'all?
Oh, what?
Why would you do
I don't
that
even
to
know.
us?
Like,
Marty won Canada's favorite player.
like what?
Rigged.
We were all voting Summer. Like, what happened? Like, Summer deserved that. Like, even
I
like
hated that.
T was up there like Summer.
I hated that they didn't even give us the top 3.
Me
Like they were
too.
just like Marty, and it was like, no, don't like give this perception that like he's this fan favorite because he's not. Like all you gotta do is open
Like
up
what? Is
Twitter,
he the only person? No one else got any votes at all?
right? Like it wasn't a blowout.
you're
Go
too
on Twitter,
depressed
and you will
Mm-mm.
see
The house
everyone
guests are
hates
probably
Marty.
like
So
the house guests are probably like Marty. How?
yeah, like imagine
I mean,
being Summer and Betty and
yeah.
sitting there, or Betty must have been like shook. She comes right out that house. It's the only vote for Josh, and then finds out that Marty is the audience favorite. She's probably like, "What the hell?" So,
What show have I even been on? Is this
Josh
a
cutting
Twilight
her
Zone?
for Kevin.
Josh cutting her for Kevin.
She like woke up in an alternate
Who
universe.
she kept over Helena.
Oh my gosh, it's a
Right.
multiverse of madness.
I never thought Josh would do
For
that.
real.
So I have a question. So obviously I started watching late. So is there a reason a lot of people don't like Marty? Did he do something, or is it just like?
Well, besides his misogynistic
He only
behavior
nominated-
and his no, go ahead.
I was gonna say he only nominated people of color. The only white person he nominated was because of a red gummy bear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say. And he would have like it was okay for Marty to say anything and everything that he wanted, but God forbid anybody else say anything. It was like anything anybody else said, particularly if it was a woman or even more so a woman of color.
Like Summer.
It was like the end of the world. Yeah, it was like the end of the world, and they're demonized, but not Marty. And I just want to be like, man, get out of here.
And like
Ooh,
when
that
he
hit my
talked about
pinky.
Betty, he was like, Betty is really good at competition. She was like 43 seconds off 100 minutes, and like anybody can count. Like I don't know. Like give her her flowers, Marty. Come on, she beat your ass. She beat it.
Yeah.
He was very misogynistic, and I don't like that. I don't like for anybody to talk down to me. Like, don't ever talk to me like that I'm stupid, because I'm not. I have a 138 IQ, according to Mensa, and you're mad. And when some man tries to like talk down to me like that, it really just gets under my skin, and I just want to don't. And so when I see it happen to other people, and on top of that, it's only people of color, and I'm watching it, I'm just like, I don't like you, Marty. I don't like him. And the fact that Canada voted for him,
I always just think about the scene where he was like yelling at Summer to get out of his room, and I'm like, that was like I've never even seen anyone say that before on Big Brother. Like, get out of my room. Like, that's so like rude.
What do you like?
Say that to
like
somebody?
I feel
like, like how old are we?
Like, are you that amped up but you can't control yourself with someone in the room disagreeing with you?
Right.
Like, he wouldn't buck up to Gino like that. Let's be real.
Oh no, and Gino betrayed his ass like 15 times, but
But
He
that's
forgave
okay. You know
Gino, and that
why?
was
You know
okay.
why?
It
Because he has
was.
a penis. That's why.
I mean, maybe because Gino was hot.
Maybe it was because he's French
I
too.
mean, true that. Listen, preach. Because yes, sir, he is.
He had a man
He
crush.
is. Look,
I had a
that
man
whole
crush.
listen.
I had
I'm
a whole
not
Hermana's
gonna
a-
lie. The segment where it showed them wrestling in their underwear, I was like,
Ooh, that
should
was.
everyone this?
Their pants.
I was here for it.
Hermana's not a bully, but I didn't appreciate a lot of the DRs that he had. I'll say that.
Herman was someone that I was
he
very.
was a bit misogynistic, but I
Yeah.
don't. But it wasn't to the degree. Maybe
Mm-mm.
I don't want to give him a full pass.
But also, like, Summer
Because-
dropped off after Kyle left too, and
Mhm.
Tanisha literally wasn't doing anything, right?
Tanisha kind of was a flop, in my opinion.
That's exactly. And I would say the same about Summer, but she had her social game and a really good personality. Tanisha didn't have any of that. So
Well, she has
Tanisha had a daughter.
Yeah.
Wait, me and Roxy said that at the same time.
Oh, we're such smart Alex, Nick. We really are. Nick and I both are like, well, in case you didn't know, she's got a daughter. She procreated, grew an entire human being. You call that nothing?
I don't know that she would have lasted in the jury house.
I don't know.
Wow. I don't know.
We
but-
never told Roxy the tea.
Oh,
Casey.
Yes, please tell me. Okay,
I don't
so
know
I
if
haven't
you know
heard
this,
it.
Zach, or not.
My
I didn't
genuine
listen to the whole
reaction.
podcast, so I guess I'm not.
because they did a podcast last night. Rob has a podcast. Taryn and
Mhm.
everybody. They did it after the finale. It was like 2 hours long. I think it's like 30 or 40 minutes into it.
So basically, I don't know if y'all know Chantel from RHAP, but so she lives in, I believe it was Toronto. And so like they're doing the podcast, right? And so she goes like off screen and she comes back and there's like two men like in her camera, right? And she's like,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say in her house.
well, they
They
were
are.
in her house.
They're
They-
sitting in her seat. It would
they
be like
are
if
in her
two men
house.
just, like walked in.
Wait,
here.
inside
like-
her home?
Yes.
Yes. And so she's like, so these are my downstairs neighbors. And Kevin lived underneath her for 2 years and she had no
What?
clue. And those were his roommates. And they were like, Kevin like loves RHAP. He like loves Jacob Jones and like Taryn and
me
like
too.
all these
Taryn.
people.
I love Jacob
and like
Jones.
so do I.
Jacob Jones is the
He does
best.
like a Jacob Jones
impression.
impression. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. And like they were like, he did all this, he did so great because of you, Taryn, and like all this shit.
And they
so,
like brought her a shirt and everything.
that,
Like
like,
it was
had like
legit. The
Kevin's
Kev
face on
hive.
it and everything. Like, yeah.
And
I know. It's like I want to move to Canada.
Right? Chantel was like, I heard them like cheering and screaming, and I assumed it was sports or something, but it was Big Brother that they were cheering over.
oh my gosh, can you imagine? So like they're like living underneath her and they know who she is.
Yeah, they were like, we watched you all the time, but we didn't want to say anything until the end of the season.
It was
I thought it was so
wild.
crazy. The clip is so funny because they're all like, who are these people? And she's like, they're my neighbors.
Oh my gosh.
They're
Good
like
friends of the
watching
show,
the
good friends of the
podcast
show.
for like 2 years. They said that they didn't know that like she was their neighbor until they saw her on the podcast, and they were like, "Oh wait,
Mhm.
that's our neighbor."
Mm-hmm.
So that's
That is
crazy.
so wild and bizarre.
Yeah. And they,
okay. Kevin,
Taryn talked about it
who-
in Kevin's exit interview, like afterwards too. And Kevin was like, wait, what? And he
Kevin
was
was
like, shook.
fangirling hard.
Yeah.
I mean, look, obviously, I love Kevin, who loved him from day one. The fact that he loves Jacob Jones, Kevin just
Yes.
went so, I mean, exponentially higher in ratings than he was like 10 minutes ago because Jacob Jones you guys, it's like, who the heck is Jacob Jones?
I know who he is.
So Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When he played Sequester, which was my first introduction to him, I felt about Jacob and his gameplay very much the way I feel about other players like Kevin or like a Dan he was so his game was fire. He was strategic, he was bold, he ran things, he was not afraid to make the moves he had to move. And plus, what a snazzy dresser that Jacob Jones is.
Yes.
Loved every wardrobe choice that he made. And I mean, I have such an affinity in my heart for Jacob. And I just think he's fantastic. And Muna, too. And I really wanted them to play together. But that's neither here nor there. Let's not go there. But I did love Jacob and Muna. But Jacob had my heart. And the fact that Kevin, who had my heart all season, loves Jacob, I feel like, because Jacob is my best friend, as you all know. Right? Jacob and I, we're like this. We're best friends. We're getting t-shirts made. He probably won't wear it because he's a much better dresser, but whatever. Now I feel like we're going to include Kevin in our little clique because so from now on, it's Roxy, Jacob, and Kevin, BFFs.
We're getting
You heard
replaced.
it here first. You heard it here first. I'm just saying, that blows my mind though, really. Like, honestly, that's crazy.
Chantel was so shook. It was so funny, like, watching her reaction. And then after they had all, like, left
and I love
her apartment. Oh, she's great. I watch her on morning updates all the time. And so, like, watching her reaction after they left too, and she's just like, I, like, cannot believe that happened. And, like, Melissa was like, who, like, are you, like, okay? And she's like, yeah, they're, like, literally my downstairs neighbors. Like, I'm fine. She's like, I know them. And she's like, I just didn't know that they lived with Kevin. Like, so weird. That is so iconic.
I would die.
Me too.
It's so, like, what are the odds of that?
Right?
That's
I was
so
like, I know
nutty.
Canada's, like, small, but...
I think the majority of the population of Canada lives in, like, the East Coast or something. I don't know. Like a good portion of them.
Well, they just have one road, so...
Really?
Oh my gosh. Why did you just do that to her? Look at her.
I thought it was like one road, just like this span of Canada, and that's it. Well, like obviously like other roads too, but just like one huge like
monsters highway.
Really?
I was like, it's believable. Maybe it's only me, but I believed it.
So okay, chat. Let me wrangle the chat. That's usually Barrett's job. He loves to wrangle the chat, he says. He's like, let me do a little chat wrangling. I'm going to do so. Yes, Natalie, Jacob Jones is such a little doll. I do agree. So, and Jameson said, Grandpa, Caillou, Smarty, stop. So Jameson asked, he says, I can't believe that BB24 is around the corner. Any thoughts on what to expect? I think we can expect the unexpected for starters.
Right.
After this season, I'm just going to expect to be disappointed.
I
guess, yeah. I don't think anything could top this, especially like, coming from BBUS. Like
Xavier was disappointing.
Caitlin says, I expect mediocrity.
Literally.
Exactly that.
Well, I can tell you exactly. Jameson, let me break this down for you. We're all collectively going to get our hopes up, even though we don't want to. We're going to like ooh and ah over the cast list when it comes out. We're going to wait for it to come out like it is Christmas morning and Santa is bringing us, you know, like a new Hot Wheel set or whatever. We're going to be so excited about it. It's going to come out. We're going to have high hopes. And then the season's going to start for the first week. We're going to be very hopeful. And by week 2, we will all hate it, but we will watch it until the end and complain. That's how season 24 is going to go.
Unless I end up on there.
Yes.
Do it.
Manifesting.
I keep forgetting that you applied. I would never. Have Nick, Casey, would y'all apply?
I would totally apply if I was like the best mentally and physically.
Yeah, I feel like I'd apply.
When I'm at my prime, those bitches better watch out, okay?
Right. I feel like I'd apply and just flop, or I have like a mental breakdown and leave.
Like quit the game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Jameson said cautiously optimistic. I get it. Exactly. My catchphrase.
Yes.
I think how I'm
Cautiously
actually gonna go into the
optimistic.
season is gonna be like not expecting anything. Because like after Kevin winning, like that's a really big high to chase going into another season. So I'm just gonna expect it to be bad and then hopefully it's good.
But
Yeah.
last season was fantastic until my girl Tiffany did not win.
It was horrible at the end. It was an amazing season until
Until my girl
Kylan.
Tiffany didn't win. Tiffany,
it
and
was
then
Kylan, yeah.
No, it was
The
Kylan's.
misogyny.
It was
peeked
Kylan's.
through.
T Casey.
Kylan's boring and slow gameplay.
Well, he wanted to go against Batman and
Non-existent.
Superman and whatever
Yeah.
man. He wanted to go against a man. That's it.
Goku. Don't forget Goku.
Oh no, wait, Tiffany, you're a girl. You can't be powerful. I can't stand
I
her.
love Tiffany. I loved Hannah.
But
go ahead.
I said, but it was all made up by his pettiness in his exit interview, or his exit pettiness.
Oh my gosh. Talking about
Ridiculous.
people's freaking family by name.
I know. Uncalled for.
A minor.
Yeah, for real.
And then,
Cowboy says, I can't promise I'll watch until the end if it sucks, but I'll watch y'all cover it. And we appreciate that. And Jameson says, I think it depends on the cast that we get. Cowboy says, I want to apply, but I'm going to move to Canada first to do that version instead.
I'll see you there. We'll go apply together.
For real.
well, I can't, Jameson, I can't say that I don't like him. I mean, him and Tiffany have a thing, so I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Kylan and Tiffany?
That.
Yeah.
I think they did have a thing.
Y'all need to refresh your Twitter page.
Yeah, y'all are
they
behind.
don't now. They don't now. Now she's with is it Jed?
Yeah.
Who is it? Yeah, Jed.
Jedson from BB Can 9.
Yeah, their thing. Listen, I love Tiffany. She's the queen. Mark that down, Jameson. Period.
I'm excited to see her.
Caitlin says, I have a feeling there's going to be at least one returnee. Really?
If it's Tiffany.
I don't think they would do just one though.
I think they would bring back DX for sure. Especially now that he knows how to play the game.
I feel like they love a good 4 returnees. I mean, you know, it's
I mean, when they've had just one.
It's been 10 seasons since they've done coaches. They did it at 14. Are they waiting until 28?
18 was kind of, but not really. Because obviously those returnees are in the game, and I also don't want them to do teams.
Well, that means they've done it every 4 seasons, which
I don't like teams at all.
I don't like teams either.
I don't like.
They're not going to do that again.
Where you're forced into, you're not forced, but it's like people play with the mentality of,
but like 3 other people are automatically safe.
Like, this is my group and we're an alliance, and they have some sort of weird, like loyalty to them, when you don't have to have loyalty to them just because you are put in a group with them initially. Like, it's not in the rules. Adapt. This game is about adapting. Do that. And so it annoys me because even at the very end, Brittini was still like jokers, and I'm like, hasn't been a thing for weeks.
Yeah, like, girl, jokers are gone.
It's
all about the Queen Tiffany now.
No,
I've thought about this. I mean, if I obviously, big chance, but if I ever do get on, like, if they're returnees, I mean, more times than not, the returnees always prevail out, so it's always good to align with them.
So you align with them, and then you secretly work against them. Have people not
the Portia BB13 strategy? Hello.
Yeah, but I like the AIM strategy better.
Strategist, that's pushing it.
Okay.
I love Portia though.
I do like Portia.
I don't dislike her, but I think we're giving her an awful lot of credit there.
I think she
I
played
mean,
a good
like,
game.
a lot of credit. We're giving her a lot of credit. Like,
Yeah, because she was
She used the
something.
vet strategy. She was the vet sheep until it was time to stop.
she didn't stop. She went to the
I
end
always
one.
I always thought it'd be a good idea for well, at first I thought it would be good for the challenge, but they could do it for Big Brother too. But if they had 2 separate like houses where
Yes,
there was a
that's what I
game
said.
in both of them, and then eventually, whenever it got dwindled down, they would merge into one house.
And they don't know about each
Yeah,
other.
and they
That's what
don't
I
know.
want to see. They have no idea. However, I was thinking earlier when you were like, I wish they would do like a Big Brother US Canada version. I was thinking this would be the perfect opportunity to do the dual. Like, let's take the existing house and let's let them know that there is another side of the house, but let's not, like on Survivor, you know who's on which tribes, right? You see them
Mhm.
at competitions. Not in my version of Big Brother, where we're going to split the house down the middle and the bathroom will be shared, but you will have a time when you can use that bathroom. And it's like,
it's illegal.
House A's side to go and use all of the bathroom. Like, your time is this time. I mean, obviously in case of emergency, you can still use the bathroom, whatever. But they play the game simultaneously and don't know about each other. And then at a certain point, then they're going to switch people up like they do, like, drop your buffs like that.
So they
Mhm.
cast
And then
like
they
8
have to,
people.
but they're still separated and for like another 2 weeks or whatever. And they play separated then, because I feel like whenever you can play like in Survivor and you're seeing everybody else play, you kind of have an idea of what you think about certain people. So when it's time for the switch up, you kind of already know who you want to maybe work with and who you don't. But if you don't know who's on the other side of the house, you don't know when they come in whether or not you want to work with them. And it would be like basically starting all over again. And I would be like,
I think if that season happened, it would be in the Big Brother Canada house, because there's no way BBUS would bring a Canadian over. Like, Americans wouldn't understand
Never.
that. But if it was the other way around and they threw like Dan or Vanessa.
oh, yes.
Dan,
Don't even get me
Vanessa,
excited.
Janelle, Tiffany.
Like,
Y'all are doing too much for me right now. I can't handle that.
Like, I definitely think it's possible, but Big Brother Canada is going to have to pull the strings to get those people. And I think they will. They'll definitely have a season where they do that.
The first
They need
season,
to
they
All
had
Stars
Dan
first.
come.
We need Big Brother Canada All Stars. Period. I don't know why there's been 10 seasons and we've had one season with attorneys, which is like insanity to me. Like, especially when you look at every single cast, there's a handful of All Stars. Like, every single cast, there's like 4 people
like
that I could
Poutine
throw on
Poppy.
All
Like, a lot of people want him
right.
back.
There's so many, and I feel like I thought 10 was going to be
How
All
would you
Stars.
narrow it down? Like,
Right, and I feel like every
did.
season it gets harder and harder, and now that we're at 10 seasons, I'm like, oh my god, how many more are we gonna go before we get a full All Stars cast? Because there's so many good ones, and I feel like every season we get further away from like, oh, that person, and it's like, I doubt it now. So
if they do an All Star season soon,
go ahead.
Go ahead. If they did an All Star season, they'd have to. Oh my gosh!
Oh my god!
Go! You go! You go! You go!
Stop! Are you doing that on purpose?
No, I was not.
You weren't. That's even funnier. I'm so used to Gunner. I was like, you better stop, because he does stuff like that to me on purpose. No, I was gonna say in chat, Boston Girl says BB Cam ratings were pretty bad this season, and I'm thinking my response to that, Boston Girl, is, well, what better time to have an All Stars when you need to raise the ratings?
yeah.
Boston Girl also said she didn't like Tiffany or Hannah.
How dare you? You better not.
You better not.
My God, if I could, I just want to be best friends with Rennie, and I want to be best friends with a lot of people. Which is funny because I don't even like people that much. So every time
But-
that Leighton competes in New Orleans, I'm always like, she's got to be around here somewhere. Is she having beignets? I'll just stop and have a few, just in case.
But
Oh
Nick,
my God, I love running.
you do know if they do an All Stars, Peter will have to come on.
No.
Yes.
No. Actually, you know
And
what?
welcome.
They need someone to go home first, which is why
Peter
Peter would
and
be
Kevin
there.
in the same house. Like, that's a great shield for Kevin.
Kevin would be the superior nerd. Period. Send that other one
Yeah,
out the door.
Yeah, but he's likable. Peter is not likable.
Exactly.
So Peter goes first.
Yes.
What if you had both? What if we had both Kevins
Well,
in there?
of course.
What if Kevin Jacobs is going to be the first person to win this game twice? Okay, calling it now. This is
All right, at 11:10 p.m. EST on Friday, May 6th.
so. What does that
If
mean?
he
It's going to be
says that.
season BB21 is when he's going to win. Like, I don't know.
Well, Big Brother 25 for US is about to come up, and they need to have a second All Star season because we never have gotten one yet.
I
Wait, oh my
know.
God, is this new season 25?
No, the next
No.
one.
24. This year is
Oh, I was
24.
like,
Next year is 25.
was I in a time warp somewhere? What happened? How long have I been sitting here?
No,
This is
what
the
I think,
BB24 finale podcast. Rex.
instead of All Stars, they need to do like Big Brother Redemption, not second chances, because I feel like that limits a lot of people. Because I feel like there's some people who need to be redeemed. Janelle needs to be redeemed. Kaser.
Yes.
They've had like 4 chances.
I'll
Yeah,
take
but-
another.
I'll take red bottoms any day. I'll take her red
I'm
Literally.
going to tell you something. They
Hello,
could
Star.
put Kaser and Janelle in there every single season, and I would be like, yes,
They were the
Me,
most
I would.
entertaining part about that whole
we'll
season.
take it.
They could be first,
For
second,
real.
dude, every season. And I would still tune in.
Yeah, I mean, look, they don't even have to play the game. Can we just put them in there? They can just live in the house.
And guess what?
Not as a coach. They're
They're
just
just
lounging
living.
by the pool.
Nicole is
Hey.
retired from reality TV too, so
Well, and thank God. I mean, oh, darn.
she got called for CBS, The Challenge.
Well, what a shame. She has a newborn. She's not going to play.
I don't think
She's-
Danny would ever play again.
Which,
Well, and that's
honestly,
unfortunate because
I was about to
love
say
her.
that. I love Danny too. I feel like she got a lot of crap in All Stars for no reason.
Well, and
Would
it
Dick
was.
ever play
I
again?
don't think. I don't. He can play. He can. It's not against the rule, but I don't think that he would. And I don't think. Well, first of all, he was old then. He was what? I
Mhm.
mean, he's not old. I mean, and then he's the age I am now. Like, wasn't he like 45? Wait, how old am I?
I mean, he had like a 21-year-old.
How old am I? I have a 24. Is Gunnar 24 or 25? I have an old child. I'm
24.
just a
think it's 24.
statistic.
Dick is
He is
currently
24.
58. So,
Jeez.
yeah.
Those would have been like
He's not as old as
14
Jerry.
years ago.
Is that as old as Jerry?
It'll still be up on there, going crazy.
No, Natalie, you stop that. No, I don't want to see Polly. Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Unless
Brittany Haynes.
he has to wear an apron and bake a pie and cry.
I was about to say, Paulie could be on my screen without clothes if he
Brittany
wants.
Haynes,
but-
Amanda Zuckerman.
I wish Amanda and Andy deserve.
I liked. Listen,
back.
Andy played.
I
rat
love
game,
Andy. I love
and
Andy.
that is fine with me because he did it well and he did it in.
He played Among Us during that double.
He did. He really did.
The best part of season 15 is in the very in the finale when the roller skating thing between Gina Marie and Spencer Clausen, and Gina, like, shockingly, just kidding, Gina Marie wins that portion of the competition, and they shoot off the little cannons and like, again, metallic, like, confetti falls from the ceiling, and she is lying down in the middle of the roller rink, like, trying to breathe. She sucks confetti into her throat, and she starts going. I was like, joke.
So
It
Beauty
was
Redemption.
funny. So funny.
Vanessa needs redemption.
Mhm.
Kimmy needs
Brittany-
redemption.
Mhm.
Brittany needs
Kimmy.
redemption.
Kimmy.
Though there's a ton
Um,
of people. That's such a hard category.
I really liked
Tyler
Chrissy
needs
Murphy.
redemption.
Who?
Tyler. No.
Tyler can stay home.
The
I'm
golden
over
boy?
He came and went. Come on.
Yeah.
He barely even.
He got his redemption.
Davon.
I
and
mean,
also
look,
ruined it.
he was
Davon and
good,
Bailey.
but also he had a power that literally lasted the entire game. It's like, Tyler, you get this power and it keeps you safe for 97 weeks. That's what happened.
Yes, Haley and Candace for sure.
Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Rachel.
Howard.
Howard too. Rachel.
Rachel who?
Rachel
doesn't
won.
Yeah,
When she
so
was
I guess she
like,
doesn't even.
and didn't she almost like cuss on national television? She was like that. No, she was like, "What the frick?" That's what she said.
Tequila.
What's wrong with Angela?
Oh my
That was
God.
really funny.
Angela.
Zach?
Iconic.
Amber
It's Rockstar,
Bozzara.
Rockstar and Brett.
That-
Rockstar and Brett. Yeah.
On my daughter's birthday. I love that.
I bought a cameo
wait.
from Rockstar.
Which Zach are you talking about? Zach Rance?
Yeah.
Zach Rance
Yes.
literally is my husband, and
On
literally
board.
no one could tell me otherwise. So
I saw
on
him
board
on
with
an
it.
ad
Back
for
up.
like toothpaste.
I know I see him on ads all the time. And I was like, that's my husband.
yeah,
getting us
Judd.
money.
Child.
I am on board with Zach
Yes,
Rance coming back.
Jameson. Amber Bozzara.
I feel like
Would
she
Matt
would come in
Hoffman
and
ever
be a
do it again?
firecracker.
Yes, she literally
Yeah, Matt
won the
would definitely
challenge
do
with like
it.
50,000 people in the cast. Like that's so iconic to go from like a random pre-juror from BB16 like 5 years ago coming on the challenge, winning on her first try when half those people have been on the show for like 10 years and still haven't won.
Johnny
It's
Bananas
like,
has been on it like a million times. Like I just still don't
yeah,
understand that. I don't understand
Johnny
that.
Bananas, my king.
there's
like-
a lot of them that are like
Why
that.
do you not? But he's good TV.
He was. I'm over it.
But like how many
Bananas?
times?
Yeah, Bananas can stay home after what he did to
I
Morgan.
love
Fuck you.
Bananas.
Sorry for
I
cursing.
mean,
but
listen,
I need to show
don't-
y'all a video
Girl,
after
it's
I
me
this.
the
don't
whole
really care
time.
about him. But CT again. I don't even care if he plays in the challenge. Just have him come in, maybe shirtless in the house, lounge around,
He could just
CT's
live
born.
there.
He can- CT
and just hang
can
out by
stay
the pool.
We can say F Big Brother. That's like the only
I
part
mean-
I know.
F
The
Big
only thing I know
Brother.
about TT. Yeah.
I have been so CT was on season
Anisha
2
Shade.
of Real World, which I watched in real time when it was on, and I have been a fan since the moment that god he walked into that house, and I said, "Who this?" Mm-hmm. I'm a
He
fan,
is very good looking.
Real World Paris.
and he has the the accent, the attitude, and I don't know if he's still living in Florida or not, but at one point in time he was. And I'm telling you, when I went to Florida again for a cheer competition, I was like, he's got to be out here running and training somewhere. Where is he? I didn't see him, but whatever.
Yes, Caitlin.
Haley.
I agree. BBOTT players need redemption. Their season is so spot on
Yes.
for no reason.
I-
Shelby,
well,
I think
Morgan, Danielle.
Jason.
even.
forget
Jason should definitely
what
come back.
side I'm so used to Daniel. Like Daniel's
Danielle
upset right now.
hates the ball smashers, but that's
Yeah,
those are my
he's total
girls.
like Jamboree fan, and I don't dislike them. They're fine, but I'm with you, Nick. I'm with you.
a lot of them were flops, and then you had Jason, who was just like a vile human being on that show, and like the shit he did and said on the
BB Up
live
at the
feed
Top?
was just
I was wondering what he did
Yeah.
to lose because I knew that he was a favorite going into that.
He would run around saying that he was
Ooh,
gonna
Dominic. Yes,
shove his
Dominic.
private
Sorry.
parts in women's mouths, and like he like took girls' pillows and like rubbed his nasty armpits on them. Like he was just like vile, like nasty shit like that. And I was like,
That's
that's why he
camp.
lost.
That's
Like
how
that's like why he
gameplay.
lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
gross.
Yeah.
no. And I love Morgan. Like the fact that she was a recruit, came on the show, had no idea what the hell she was doing, but did it because her sister was a super fan.
And owned it.
Won.
And then she
Queen.
dated Bananas.
Owned it.
And then he cheated on her because he's a piece of crap, but
I mean, and the truth comes out. This is, and so now we know why Nick's like, I'm over him. It is because he's loyal to Morgan. It has nothing to do with anything else. Busted.
and the truth comes out.
I mean,
Kalia?
you're not wrong.
No, Jody.
You're not wrong.
Jody.
Oh my
Jody
gosh,
is the number one
Jody,
person who needs
yes.
redemption.
Libra, yes.
Yes. I love
Keisha?
Libra.
We were robbed of
Okay.
Keisha
Keisha.
deserves redemption.
Keisha does deserve redemption. I hated seeing like all like the newer BB fans be like, "Who is she?" and blah blah blah, and it's like, girl,
I know,
you
and
need
it's
to
like,
learn who
leave.
she is.
Leave right now.
You better
are-
not.
You better-
You better not. Turn in your BB fandom card immediately and see yourself out the door.
I would
For
love
not
Renee.
knowing. Rennie was the best.
Rennie was.
They need to look for
Oh.
more casting that are similar to Rennie because no one is gonna be Rennie. But you know, like I think Rockstar was pretty close, but
Yeah, kind of zany and out
Mhm.
there, and definitely unafraid to speak her mind.
and just like wearing like the most crazy like outfits,
Bizarre
you know?
things. Yeah, it was nothing to see Rennie, come out of the
In a wig,
bedroom for
in a wig.
breakfast in a wig, like a tall stovetop hat, a feathered boa,
Something over her face,
glittered
like-
clogs, and like,
and some heels.
what's for breakfast? I'll have 2 eggs, and it's like,
Lipstick
where are
on.
you going? Do you have an appointment at like for a Vegas showgirl audition today? What are you doing?
A
But
boa.
it worked. I know. She'd be like,
Had one. She always had her boa.
hello. And I love that about
see-
her.
Brett is still doing a podcast talking about Rockstar. And I'm like, sir, it's been 4 years.
Really?
He talked about it.
I didn't know he had a
recently on
podcast.
something. He's I don't think he has his own podcast, but he's friends with like a famous YouTuber, and he's always on like his YouTube channel.
The
So
Yudum. I call it the Yudum. Yeah.
I hate it. I couldn't stand it. Like right after he said, where he posted that picture on Instagram, and it's like I ignored the red flags, and it's with Jack and Mickey.
oh, I do remember that, and everyone was like attacking him and all of them because it was
Yeah.
like right before All Stars, wasn't it?
Yeah,
think.
it was
I don't
before
remember,
COVID.
but
I know
it
that.
Well, they were like hanging out
Yeah.
somewhere or something. He got a
Mhm.
lot of flack over it, and it was like, buddy, did you not watch the season?
Right, like, do you know
Mhm.
who you're posing and taking a picture with and making a subliminal caption about? Like,
On her daughter's
real.
birthday.
literally.
Dare you? You better not.
Mhm.
You better not.
So,
Okay, so go ahead. No, go. Say.
oh, what was it? So top 5 people that you would want to come back from this season.
Oh, from
Kevin,
Canada.
BB2.
Betty, Helena,
Yeah, BB.
Summer. You better say it.
Summer,
Summer.
and I'm trying to think of my rankings. That's why Summer, and then Gino.
Mm.
Okay, mine would be Kevin,
Mm-hmm.
Betty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Stephanie.
No.
Moose.
Ooh, I like that.
Moose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
You better say
JC
Summer.
Lynn.
No Summer?
JC Lynn. Look, I like Summer's personality, but girl didn't give me anything after Kyle left, so therefore at least Steph gave us the fight with Moose. Steph throughout the season,
Steph gave drama.
exactly. Summer did not. She gave a little bit. No one
I do
fucked
think
with Summer.
Steph was a little robbed. I feel like Steph, if she lasted a
think
little
so.
longer, she would have gave us something.
I
And
think-
she was pretty good in comps.
She was just a
too.
casualty, in my opinion.
She
Like-
was.
Yeah, I didn't like her like thing with Gino, like her obsessing with Gino at the beginning.
Oh,
of the
oh my
season.
god,
Like,
it was so
I
cringe
forgot
on
about
the
that.
feeds.
Like, come
Yeah.
lift these weights. But like, whenever it got to game, like she was a little bit cutthroat, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, mine is Kevin,
Mhm.
Betty,
Everyone's
Summer.
first is Kevin.
Kevin, Betty, Summer.
You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Jess again.
God, I forgot about them.
Yeah,
I forget about them too.
because they would have been the first juror, but and then
Yeah.
JC Lynn.
Kevin, Betty, Summer,
Keep in the chat.
Kevin, Betty, yeah, Kevin, Betty. We're all in agreement there. Well, not Casey. Casey, you're out. No, Kevin, Betty, Summer, probably Moose. I think there was a lot of drama with him, and it was entertaining. So Moose and gosh, the last one's so hard because it's like this, no, yes, maybe.
Herman, if he won more competition.
I mean,
like
I was kind of leaning that way. He was a little.
His game
Am I
was
really the
successful
only
with
Helena
Kyle.
stan? Wow.
Yeah.
No, Helena. Yeah. That's who I
That's
want.
what I
Oh gosh,
thought.
I forgot about Helena.
Shut the hell
Uh-huh.
up and don't
mhm.
talk to me, JC
Mhm.
Lynn.
I love that.
I was
Shut
also
the hell up and
thinking,
don't talk to me.
you know how people like pit Survivor and Big Brother against each other a little bit, like one's better than the other, kind of. I was thinking, what if what we were talking about earlier, if they had two different shows going on, what if for one half or for one show they do Survivor
on the
one part,
island and everybody go
and then they switch over and do the house?
Yes.
I just got so excited.
Gosh, CBS call us.
Yes.
$1 million
CBS.
idea.
We get a conference call.
If they do that, they got to bring back Erica, though. Erica.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they do that, then
That
definitely
would be so fun.
gosh, what's his name?
I would
They
be-
don't
has to come back.
know. They
Hayden.
don't know that that's what's going to happen. The
Yeah.
Survivor players think they're playing Survivor. And
I want a
which
blood
means
versus
we're-
water, Big Brother. That's what I want. Can you
I
throw
want
Betty
that,
and Ian in the
Casey.
house? Betty and Ian would be. And Kevin
I
and
love
Helena.
that.
I want season 6 with like the secret pairs, but with loved ones. Not like, oh, she's my coworker or she's my roommate. No, bitch. I want you in there with
It's
your
my
daughter.
husband.
No one knows. Yeah.
Like what they should have done in BB4 with the
yes, with
PAX Bros.
exes. Or you mean
Or in 6 where
Canada
they had
4.
the duos.
Yeah. I thought that
because the
thought
brothers
that
were
they were gonna
initially
do that.
released as like Phil and Nick, and then it was
Yeah.
They
like
had
Phil
ex
was in the
like
house and
boyfriends
Nick-
and girlfriends and is that what you're talking about? Like Wilson and cauliflower and
yeah.
Like a secret blood versus water thing where everybody thinks that they're going in there with their loved one and that it's just them. Like nobody knows that everybody has a loved one in here. But people would, I mean, I think
would
people
probably
would pick up
figure it
on
out.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of hard to tell though too, because you had Morgan and Alex literally go the whole season on OTT and no one knew.
Yeah.
And
I
they
remember
look
that.
But then
very
you have people who look so similar, like Rachel and
Rachel and
Alyssa.
Alyssa. And they both talk the same too.
Mm-hmm.
Or Vanessa.
Showboy says Natalie Anderson would dominate Big Brother.
Oh,
She would.
Preach.
I love Natalie. That's
Kelly
my
Wentworth,
that is my favorite Survivor player. Even though she didn't do Fire this most recent season, she should have went to Fire, but I love her.
Yes, Kelly Wentworth. That is my girl.
Mm-hmm.
Wentworth does not count. Wentworth does
Literally,
not
I
count.
want it tattooed on my chest.
I mean, I'm sure that they could do a 23andMe test on all of these contestants and find a long lost something if they really tried to.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have to try that hard. Michael Ellis and Nokomis. How'd that mess happen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They both.
Well,
that was before, like, these genome testing. I think that's
yeah, and
Big Brother family reunion.
Project DNA. That was such a shock.
That was a really good twist.
Adria and Natalie were switching out. Nokomis and Cowboy Ellis, who made up a brand new dictionary the entire season. He did. It was a new word every week, and I'm like, oh, hold on, I gotta write that one down too. My gosh, but and they had that twist, and it was just so fresh and new at the time that I was just like, whoa, what?
And it's never been done again, like, or even attempted to, at least that we know of.
They did the twins, but without the same rules. It's like so the second time when they did the twins, first of all, no, don't like either one of them. But the second time they did it, there was not the same.
My mouth shut.
Yeah. What you better. We'll fight.
They should have won. I stand by that. Steve did nothing.
I literally just vomited in my mouth, swallowed it, vomited again, swallowed it, and now I'm got to go and throw up all the way because that you take that back, sir.
I do not like Steve.
I don't like
they
Steve.
played against Vanessa. You're telling me they deserve to win over Vanessa?
No, but in the final two that we were given, I think Liz should have gotten it over Steve. I think that Liz had her literal twin sister and boyfriend in the final, like, what was it, 5 or 6, and made up half the house, and no one was even targeting her.
Yeah, okay. I'll take back my vomit then. I just thought you were saying in general.
Oh, no. Literally, I just got out of that final two.
Has Nick had a Lavonda I'm unaware of?
Vanessa is my all-time favorite. I don't know if it's her or Janelle, but she is up there.
Parvati would be amazing at Big Brother.
Parvati would be amazing at anything that she ever does in life.
Boston Rob can stay home. I'm over him.
Yeah.
I've seen him too many times.
At least it's not Russell.
He is also the one that led the charge for more people not to vote for Michelle, which I'm kind of mad about.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying, like, how is it that you can be like, you've got to give a different reason, because how can you say I'm over him, he's played too many times, and then stand someone who has played just as many times? Give me a break.
Boston Rob is boring.
Bias is showing.
Boston Rob had one strategy, and it's literally like him just like corralling
legitimate reasons.
People.
Yes.
His strategy couldn't work in Big Brother.
No.
My friend, like our family friends, someone that I've known my entire life, she plays on the poker circuit with him and is good friends with him. He's very nice. He's very nice. But you've given legitimate reasons now. Other than, don't give me a reason that is literally... That does not work, sir, because you stand people who've played even more times than him.
And I will continue to do so.
Parvati would be in a fight.
And he's like, and I don't care. I'm just saying. That's not a reason. It is, but...
I want to see Wes play Big Brother from the challenge. I think he would.
I love Wes.
Me too.
I'm telling you,
that's my man.
Like, I love him, and you know, I have a love-hate relationship with Wes. Like, it's not even, it's like, I really, really genuinely like him, and I think he's a great strategic player. But on some days, even like episode to episode, I'm like, shut up, Wes. But then I'm like, oh, but come on, he's
Mhm.
really good. Like, he's so polarizing. I think, though, that he is genuinely a very nice person. I
Well,
really
Right.
do.
I think he'll fit with or he's one of those people that's very adaptable. So once he gets on,
Oh,
if he ever
100%.
did Big Brother, he would be able to like put on his wits and charm and stuff like that. And
There's so
which
many players in Survivor that are so good, though.
are we
Honestly,
gonna cover? Which
I
All
I
Stars?
would like to work. I would like to work that out. I really want to work that out, and figure out how to have enough people that podcast with us in order to do everything that we need to do. Because when there's overlap in shows, it is so difficult because we are just us. I mean, and Barrett, Daniel, but yes, I'm gonna say yes. I want to do that, but I'm not making a promise.
First episode's on my birthday,
Is that May 9th?
May 11th.
For what, Big Brother Australia?
Oh no,
Or
no,
the challenge?
but the challenge, All Stars.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget that that's like coming out this.
I mean,
Have
I
you
would like
watched
to
it, Nick?
do a lot of
Yeah.
things.
I've watched every challenge season, I think.
Same, except
At
for this
least-
past season, I could barely get through it.
Girl, me too. But I somehow did.
Yeah, Jameson, I remember that Junebug stand Pauline on the challenge just because he hated Kyle, and I don't like either one of them. Yes, listen, Daniel is hands down the king of standing people for no apparent reason and hating other people for the exact same reason that he stands somebody else. Like, I'm like, what? Daniel
Yeah, Polly is quote
Daniel
unquote.
only likes the women. And that's it.
Polly is quote unquote.
The
Like,
challenge just sucks now with people like Josh and Fessy. Ugh,
that's why you should watch the All Star season. It's way better.
I agree. Who flipped?
That's
No, I
okay.
agree.
Josh is like, I cannot believe that Josh is still on my television screen. Like, what did I do to be plagued with Josh Martinez constantly on my damn television?
Would
Go
you rather
away.
have him or bananas?
Bananas. Because at least he's not crying for no friggin' reason.
Throwing glass in people's
No, he's just causing everyone else to cry for no reason.
Which is fine.
I mean, you can't deny that Johnny Bananas is a phenomenal player. Even though CT literally carried him like a backpack.
He did.
It's one of my favorite things ever. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. Anything that CT has ever done is my favorite thing ever. I don't care what that man does. I'm just like,
Natalie, I know you didn't ask me, but the person I hate or I strongly dislike the most is D. Wynn. She is the worst. That's me.
I
Though.
don't know who I hate the most from the challenge. Oh, well, I don't know if she's the most, but I do not like Tori. I do not like Devin. I do not like Anissa. I hate that like whole like crew of, I don't know.
You don't like Anissa?
Girl, Anissa has been on that show for 15 years and has not come close to winning.
She gets further
I
and
didn't know
further. I
that
love
was
her.
the criteria. I didn't know that was the rule.
You don't have to be an amazing competitor, but she doesn't even give me good TV. What has she done in the past like 4 seasons that she's been on?
I didn't know we were talking about this
broke
season.
her ankle.
Right.
I thought we were talking about just as a whole because Molly's favorite player, I'm going to go old school for y'all. It's Beth,
Who?
hands down. Nope. No.
Beth is drama, honey.
Yeah,
is
and I
great.
can't stand her. No, she is not. Even my daughter, like, if I call Leighton in here right now and I say to her, who is the most annoying player on the show, the challenge, 100% she will tell you Beth. She will say Beth, hands down. She can't, and I didn't even bias her opinion. I didn't say anything. I let her just watch, and she's like, this girl has got to go. She is the most annoying. I'm telling you. And when Tina punched her, she was like, hold on, walked up to Beth, turned her around and just smacked her and then said, worth it. I said, get in line, everybody. It's time to punch Beth in the face.
Wait, I forgot. Natalie, your name reminded me of her. I cannot stand Ninja. Ninja
Oh.
is the worst. Oh my gosh.
Ninja's up there too.
I would rather have my fingernails pulled out from me and paper cuts all over my hands than watch Ninja on my show ever again. I cannot stand her.
Yeah, I can definitely
You know
agree
who
with
I
that.
love that I haven't seen in ages is Ruthie. Remember Ruthie?
Ruthie, yeah,
remember
she was
her.
on the first All Stars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, she was. I forgot.
Mhm.
But until then, it had been
I know, yeah.
ages.
I do love Ruthie.
I loved her.
An
I'm
old school
glad,
I
queen.
loved her. I totally forgot because I've only watched the first just little, like maybe 3 or 4 episodes. I'm not gonna watch all of it, but I will. Look, I know y'all know I'm busy. Yeah, oh Leroy. Oh, remember Keefla? Look at all these damn pennies. Keefla, remember him? Do you remember Keefla? Dude, y'all have not been watching it as long as I have.
I only started when Natalie Negrotti got on because I was like, okay, there's someone I know now. Because I don't watch Real World, so I didn't know any of those people. So I just was never like into the show.
You have
And then
missed out.
yeah, so when Natalie got on, I was like, this is really good. And I literally went backwards and watched all of them.
Oh my
So.
gosh, can we go back and just not week by week, but let's say like let's watch the Real World seasons and those Road Rules seasons from way back, and we'll just do one, maybe 2 podcasts over the whole entire show of what we think about something that happened way back then, and then go forward, and then we'll do it with all the challenge ones. Please, I want to do it. I want to do it so bad.
Roxy wants the nostalgia.
Because I love all of the old, like that's like the time period, the golden years, the best time. It was so good. I loved Derek. What a bulldog! What a bulldog
Derek,
he was.
yeah, especially when he first got on the challenge.
Yes, he was
his
amazing.
first season.
He was the first podcast I listened to. Oh, Camilla.
Oh, Camilla, she could go F off.
Yeah, I liked her before everything happened, and obviously, so, but before all that, she was pretty. She made it very entertaining.
Too. When
Coral,
Coral
yes.
was on.
Oh, Coral? I thought you said Laurel, but I love Coral too.
Oh, I like Laurel too.
I like both of them.
I'm so jealous because Laurel follows Gunnar on Twitter.
Really?
I know. I'm like, why? You don't even know her.
Laurel followed me on Twitter for a minute, and then she unfollowed me. And then Nani followed me on Instagram for the longest.
Interesting. Nani's another flop, but
I love Nani.
Girl, Nani ain't winning ever.
Oh yeah, Caitlin
Body season 38 winner.
Okay.
Casey can stay home.
I'll take Casey. A lot of people don't like Casey, and I know I'm well in the minority of me being a Casey stan, but
Nicole Z is so annoying.
yeah, Nicole Z sucks.
I
Do you guys remember whenever we first got here and we were going to talk about BB Canada season 10 finale? Remember that? When we showed up here to do that?
I think
we did it for the
that
first
feels
hour
like
and a
a
half.
month ago.
Literally what we're doing right now, Barrett and I used to do this all the time. We would literally get on and podcast about Big Brother. And then for like 2 hours after we were done, we're talking about, remember that episode of SpongeBob when such and such? Like, we did
Shy
it
boy,
all the
I swear.
time.
That is all she does. She can
She
go.
stays
Literally.
winning money.
I watched her in Big Brother. That's all she did then too.
And she
And then
won.
Sam from 21 started doing that. And I'm like, no, you could
Oh,
stop.
yes.
Stop it. And now that's all people do nowadays. Let's go. And then they're like, Casey started. I'm like, really? Casey started? Everyone says that all the time. Like,
Casey
calm
did
down.
not start shit.
Yeah.
Casey's just obnoxious with it.
Yeah, Casey did a lot.
Yeah, what is she, Mario? Let's go.
No.
Well, okay. So we have to end this. We're at 3 hours.
3 hours. Thank you.
What's wrong with us?
Yeah. We're crackheads.
So Kevin is a good winner.
Yeah,
Kevin
in
is flawless.
summation, Kevin's amazing, and he is soon to be my best friend, along with Jacob Jones.
We don't have a
Kevin's
winner.
the
That's a flop.
best. Bethlehem for redemption season. I can't think
And
anymore.
we stand Helena.
Nick Santalina.
But of course.
Yes.
Okay, listen.
I also
if
stand
you
Helena.
If
I
you
do too.
guys stayed with us this long, and I know good and well that a lot of you did because you're still in the chat, we love you and I appreciate it. For real. I really do. I appreciate it. So thanks for watching and hanging out with us when we're at, like a group of people that have severe ADHD and go off on tangents about absolutely nothing for hours at a time. I appreciate you, like you listening, like, because this is like the way that we actually talk to each other when we're not live. We talk about these things too. So it's nice to be able to share it with you. And it was a super awesome season of Big Brother Canada. Loved it. Kevin's the most amazing winner they've ever had. I said it. I mean it. Don't argue with me. It will do you no good. And follow us, like us, subscribe. All of our @s are on the screen, and give us comments, whether they're good or bad. I don't know. I'll argue with you. Well, when I get around to it. But anyway, thanks for coming. And I mean, yeah, Natalie, he is my best friend too. We will be back sooner than you think. I promise you. The season may be over, but you're going to see us again real super soon. Anyway, okay. Bye.
Bye.
And remember, Big Brother's always watching.
And so are we.